evening, Deborah. I see you. Thanks for joining.
Shine to the whole world, Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love.
Pat, you are welcome.
Inside, all around, yeah. Inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future and life. Let the light that's within me shine to the
I see you, Val. Welcome. Jimmy, how are you? Good evening.
Let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, inside, all around, yeah. Inside,
Oh, Buddy, how are you? Been a while. Daughter of Grace, I see you. Good evening, everyone, wherever you are. I see you, Daughter of Grace. Welcome. It's been a while. I hope you are good. Thank you always for joining me here on Insight. I can see some people lurking on the FY page, but it's all right. As long as you're giving us that moral support from up there, it's good, it's good. You are welcome to Insight this beautiful Thursday the Lord has made. Indeed, we ought to rejoice and be glad in it. Good evening, my dear. I hope you are good. It's just been a while, seeing you on the street side of TikTok. I hope all is well with you. Happy new month, by the ways. And to everyone as well, happy new month of June. If you're just joining, you're welcome. On Thursday on Inside, we talk about marriage talk. So if you feel we're going to bore you, it's okay. But we are really concerned here because marriages are suffering. When marriages are suffering, family is suffering, our community is suffering. So who best to talk about these things if not you and I? How to make things better, how to change our ways, how to unlearn the bad and relearn the good. So here we'll talk about marriage relationship talks, especially those talks that seem somewhat challenging for couples to sit and talk about. This is a space for you. Please share this live to all your friends, especially, I always say especially the married ones. You're welcome. Oh, admissions, good to see you. Johnny Babes, oh my God, I feel blessed already. Thank you all so much for joining in. I hope our week has been good so far. Yeah, sometimes, we work hard, you'll be tired and all, but you have to do what you have to do. So, yeah. But thank God for strength that is renewed every day. I mean, in my local church, we're fasting and praying at the moment. And we're told the theme is faint, we faint not. So sometimes you're tired, you just want to sleep, but you remember the assignment God have asked you to do, or you remember the things you have to do, and you just pray for strength. God, you just have to be my strength. So I'm here. Johnny Babes, it's good to see you. I hope you're going to stay for this talk and this discussion today. Like I said, on Thursdays, we talk about marriage relationship issues or talks. We, dare ourselves to talk about certain hard talks because nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. My husband is not perfect. We're not perfect. But together we try to make things work, and God helping us. God really helping us, because God is the one who orchestrated this marriage institution. So from time to time we get stuck here and there. We run back to the maker of the product, so to say. And he helps us, sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it gives us even deeper understanding of certain things we do not really think about. And then we see sense and we adjust our ways quickly so that we can still keep enjoying that marriage relationship. So if you have a friend who's always saying certain things, just tell them, direct them to Insight, especially on Thursdays, where we tackle this kind of talks. And we keep it simple and real here. We all have, our entitled to our own opinion or suggestions. However, we're here to guide each other in the right path so that we keep seeing the goodness of marriage. We keep enjoying our marriage relationship, not enduring or managing. No, why should you be manager? Are you a manager in your marriage? But it's all good. Once again, welcome. I'm going to go into my talk to give us a better understanding from which perspective I'm coming from. And like I always say, I cannot answer or cover all aspects of this talk. I can only bring my own wealth of experience, and maybe people I've worked with, people or family, friends and all that say indeed tiring. Thank God we have access to him to ask for strength. I know they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as the eagle. They would run and not faint. We will not be weary, we will not be tired. The Lord will continue to strengthen us. Amen. I mean, we're in the middle of the year, and sometimes when you look back, maybe certain things you feel you haven't achieved, you just feel this downcast kind of spirit, like, what's happening? This is the 6th month again, Lord. All these my prayer points and what have. Maybe you should add fasting to it, add praise to it. But you know that you have to pray God's will for you so that we don't pray amiss. What is your plan for me this year? Maybe I feel I'm not achieving certain things, or my marriage is still rocky and all of that. You need to really check. There's certain things we're not doing, or there's certain things we ought to be doing that we're not, and that's why we're not really enjoying the marriage, or we're seeing this a bit of melancholy. Yeah, we're seeing this rocky face. And I tell you, about 3-4 weeks ago, we talked about marriage is not a bed of roses. Indeed, it's not. We have thorns that come in. However, the end plan is that your marriage will be beautiful. Not just that, it will be glorious, and then we'll pass this beautiful marriage concept to our children and our children's children. That is God's plan for us. Okay, let's be focused now. I'm gonna go into the talk. Please, whilst I do this, help me tap, tap, tap. When we tap, it's going to attract other people to come and find out what is going on the inside. So either you tap, tap and others join us, or you can actually click down for about 3 seconds. On your screen, some names will pop up. Just click send, send. Scroll down. Keep sending to everyone. Let them be part of this talk today. It's very important, because sometimes when we don't know how to handle this transition in marriage, it can bring more problems. It can bring issues between a husband and wife. And if care is not taken, if there are children involved, it can affect our children as well. So I'm going to go straight into the talk. Today's topic is transitions in marriage. Transitions in marriage. I don't know whether before you got married, somebody sat you down and told you, there's stages in marriage, or there's transition to this, so this way you handle this way. Or they just bless you, go into that marriage, you to go and discover, go and find out, go and learn. Here we are. I'm trying to remember if anybody told me that. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Yeah, a lot of things I had to learn in my 26 years of marriage. I'm like, oh, well. And I'm learning, God helping me. Sometimes I've been good, sometimes I've been, no, this is not right. And sometimes you just have to let go for peace to reign. You learn, because you have to learn to face another day with your spouse. So, by way of introduction, we all know that marriage, like life, is filled with seasons and changes, hence transition in marriage. So this transition, some expected, others unexpected. Things happen, life happens, either can strengthen us, or strengthen the marital bond, or it can create tension if not navigated properly. Transition in marriage refers to those pivotal shifts in life, or in our marriage life, in our relationship stages, that require adaptation. If you don't know how to adapt, you will be in for, let me not say trouble. It requires adaptation. It requires effective communication, and of course intentional growth on the path of the husband, on the path of the wife, because one person cannot do it alone. That's why the two of you have come together to become one. So both of you have to learn to adapt to whatever each other is bringing on to that. Let me not say table because they've been abusing that table for a while. Let me not join them. So anyway, let's go steady. Transitions in marriage is what we're looking at today. So understanding what transitions are in marriage, it's very important, it's very crucial. Transitions in marriage are significant shifts, like I said, or changes in the relationship dynamic, or life circumstances that requires adjustment. When you think transition, think adjustment. Okay? Exactly. So they may include, I'm going to mention a few bits, and further on, I'm going to try and break some of them down. So it may include moving from newlywed to a phase of mature partner. It could be becoming parents, because when you're married, not everybody, when they're married, they don't have any kids, any child. And after a while, a year or two, according to the the couple's plans, some people deliberately wait for 3 years before they have their first issue. So they're living life, doing life together, me, myself, my husband, and what me, myself, my wife, no child. So they're just okay. And then bam, oh honey, guess what, I'm pregnant. That is a transition. They've moved from newlyweds to becoming parents, even though the child is not here, but things will change. So another that you can readily think of is career changes or job loss. Either can bring about some sort of transition in that marriage relationship. Again, financial highs and lows. This one has been one of the major causes of divorce in the world. Financial highs and lows. Then another one is health challenges. Health challenges can bring about transition in a marriage relationship. Did you plan for it? No. Did it happen? Well, we're here now, so to say. Again, aging and retirement. It brings another kind of transition into that marriage. And if couples don't manage this bit well, they end up divorcing or separating. And that's why you hear 45 years of marriage down the drain. Because of aging and retirement, they can't handle that transition, or is bringing out strangers in both husband and wife, and they're like, you know what, we don't have anything, come on, let's just go away. And then you look back and say, oh my god, after 45 years, what do you mean? So let's be mindful. If you're in that phase right now of aging to the age of retirement, and maybe your spouse still have a few years to go, you guys need to have a bit of understanding with one another. Otherwise, if you don't handle that transition well, it can lead to all sorts. Again, loss of a loved one can bring about a transition in that marriage. And the last one I'll mention is spiritual growth or differences. I've said it oftentimes, especially when husband and wife of the same faith, they find it hard to believe that someday my spouse could actually backslide. They don't want to be a person of faith anymore, or they don't want to believe in God anymore. These things happen. That is a transition. And if care is not taken, it will bring a lot of conflict in that relationship. So each of these seasons presents an opportunity to deepen connection if we're positive-minded. Or it can actually drift couples apart if not handled carefully. So we need to be mindful. If you're married and you're listening to me right now, what transition have you just gone through? Where has the transition led you to? A place of deeper connection or a place where you're drifting apart from your spouse? Let us carefully think about this. Like I said, no matter the transition, God's plan is that we enjoy the goodness of marriage at all times. So it's on you and I, it's on you, it's on your wife, it's on the husband, to make sure that we handle transitions properly and carefully. So there's so many kinds, of impacts transition can bring. I'm going to mention some now, which I'm going to break down again. So please feel free to engage, as I'm giving this talk, whatever's coming to mind you want to share with us, please feel free to engage in the chat. And if I see it, hopefully, because I'll look up from time to time, if I don't miss it, I might read it out. So thank you, BC. I see you. Thank you so much. Is it Bemi Siri, I see you. Thank you. Stella Dupe, I see you. Thanks for joining. Please help share this live to your friends. Let them be part of this crucial talk today. We have emotional and psychological impacts of transitions, on a couple. So during transitions, couple may experience anxiety or uncertainty. They can experience fear of the unknown. This new phase, they're afraid of it because they don't know what's going to happen. Is it going to bond them together or drift them apart? Again, identity shifts, e.g. from individual to parent. Like I said, emptiness is a point of transition. Oh, definitely, admission it is. You go from individual to becoming parent, or from breadwinner to caregiver. Like I said, things happen. Transitions you did not plan for. Transitions you're not even expecting. These things happen. But should that be the end of that marriage? No. So let's talk some more about it. Other impact is communication breakdown. When transitions are not handled properly, it can impact the communication in that marriage. Again, emotional distance or misunderstanding. So understanding that transitions often bring vulnerability can allow couples to treat each other with grace and respect. Grace and respect. Don't worry, I'm going to be unpacking them soon. But first, let's look at keys to navigating transition successfully. There are 1,000,001 keys, but I'm just going to mention a few because of time, because I really want to hear from us as well. So the first one, as usual, effective communication. Hola, A13. Thank you for the heart me, guys. If you don't mind, a heart me will suffice as you come into this live, just to support your sister here. So, keys to navigating transition successfully. What are those keys? Some will work, some may not work, but you wouldn't know until you try them and see whether it's helping you in that transitional stage you're in. Effective communication. Joy Odiase, I see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Honest, open, and consistent dialogue is the foundation of managing change. Share your fears with your husband, with your wife. Share your hopes, your aspirations and things, and even your needs. Some people, they feel embarrassed to share certain needs, especially when you're talking about intimate stuff. Anyway, let me not jump too much. But how are you really doing with this change? How are you dealing with it? How are you coping with it? Are you bearing it, or you're just enduring it? You can't talk about it. Why not? What is hindering you? Because effective communication will soft pedal a lot of things going on in that marriage. When faced with that transition, you have to talk about it. That transition, none of you have been there before. So feel free to share your experience. How is it going? Are you liking it, or you don't like it? Or are you just about share your feelings, your fears, everything with your spouse? That's why you have your spouse, your personal person for life. Leslie, I see you. Thanks for joining. So if you're not coping well, thank you. Thank you for the cap. Thank you. If you're not coping well, please feel free to talk with your spouse. Don't just think they know you're not coping well. Children, they come and meet you, talk. Hey, people, open your mouth and talk to your spouse, and pray that they would have understanding and it can help support one another. So another key navigating to successful transition is emotional intelligence. Some people, thank you so much, Leslie. When they get married, their emotional intelligence is maybe on an average level, but you find out that now they're married, it's like all of a sudden they just matured. You just be, this is my wife, this is my husband, are so playful. Fine, they're so playful, but they come with this maturity. Is it that you put a ring on it has brought about the maturity, or but they're transiting well, or transitioning well into that married life. And you're amazed yourself, that is good. So recognize and validate each other's emotions. It's okay to grieve a change, even if it's positive. You were a bachelor, you were a spinster, you were good by yourself, but now you've changed, you've brought in somebody into your life, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. And you're like, You know, maybe before they will come and visit you, especially the woman, she'll come and visit, help clean, and go away. So you can still have your man cave or whatever you men call it. And then now you're married, and then you have dinner, and you're kissing. I'll see you tomorrow. You say, no, we live in the same house. I'm not going anywhere. Oh, sorry, I forgot we're married. Wake up your ideas. That's funny. This person's gonna sleep on your bed tonight, and heavens is in support of that. They are not going anywhere, and they're like, honey, let's just go wash, sharing the space. I know, sharing space, some people, their mind, they're week 1, week 2 in marriage. You go for honeymoon, you know you have to share honeymoon and all, you're still okay, and then you now come back home. You've even forgotten that you've moved all of your things inside the house together. You've set some 1 or 2 rooms, you come back from honeymoon and set everything, and you just realize that, oh my God, it's been a week and this person has not gone back to their house. We're married now. They're not going anywhere. Oh my God, am I scared? Am I okay? This thing sounds silly, but it happens. Sometimes some people get affected mentally because they feel choked all of a sudden. It's not that they want to feel that, because of course they love this person they're with, but because they didn't prepare themselves for that transition and it's overwhelming them, they're almost having panic attacks. I've heard of 1 or 2 cases like that. So be mindful. You can grieve the change, even if it's a positive one, really. Another one is team mindset. You're in this marriage right now. The way we can handle this transition and be successful is if we work together. Teamwork makes the dream work. You can't leave your sock and shoe here. Oh, tell me about, oh my God, don't even take me to that place. You'll be like, yesterday I removed your jumper from this place. Now you put it there again. Honey, now, please now, help us now. So tidy up. And because when you live by yourself, you just put your stuff anywhere. Who cares? But now somebody cares, and you want your spouse to be happy. When they nag after a whole week, let's give ourselves a week at least, where old habits die hard, as they say. But you have to change your ways. That's what I talk about, adaptation. You have to learn to adapt to accommodate this person's lifestyle, as well as they're willing to accommodate your lifestyle. Some husband or some wife, they'll just pick it and put it away. And I tell you, things are crazy. The next time you're the one always putting your stuff somewhere, you now go and hang it properly. And your spouse will come, and they're coming straight to that corner because they know you're always there. And they now don't meet anything. Say, you put your... In fact, they're almost feeling like, why did you put your coat away? I love doing that. Oh my God. That's how marriage could be crazy. Anyways, let's go on. So team mindset. See yourselves as partners on the same side. Shift from me versus you to us. Us versus us. You to us. So it's no longer me and you and I. It's us now. And you have to let your mind grasp that so that you can begin to work together. Okay? You versus us. Me versus you, or us versus the problem. So face the problem together. Don't face each other, because that tends to bring a lot of conflict. Again, seek support. I'm in support of this one. Counseling, mentorship, community support can give or offer guidance and reduce the sense of isolation. Because trust me, you're not the first to get married, neither will you be the last. All these transitions in marriage, billions and billions of people have gone through them, and they survived it. So why not you surviving it as well? So you have to be curious. You have to find out, how do these people manage this transition? I don't seem to be coping, oh my dear, we're not coping at all. What can we do? It's just overwhelming. Let's talk to one another, or seek support, seek counseling if need be, or a trusted member of your family that has been in marriage for years, and they can give you 1 or 2 words of advice. Marriage, many opportunities to fight together or apart, many opportunities to thrive or exit. I know we have to pick our choice. We have to choose our choice. But we know that we have signed that deed. We have signed a contract forever and ever, Come rain, come shine. Richer and poorer. We don't just say those things for fun, because it will be challenged in that marriage. Anyway, let's leave that for now. Again, flexibility and patience. We need that, oh man. Even me, I used to say to myself, you're a very patient person. I entered into marriage. One of the very first things that was tested was my patience. And I'm like, God, I thought I was good with patience. I'm very patient. But then I'm like, oh, you brought this person into my life to test me, right? I must pass this test. Sometimes you want to, and then you just, I'm a patient person. But sometimes you just lose it altogether and you just rake and rage and all of that. And your spouse will be looking at you. If it's a spouse that is very wise, they will just come and hug you. You have to keep quiet. When your spouse is hugging you, you're shouting and raking and you want them to understand and they just come and hug you. Even you feel somehow like, and then you have to calm down, you have to be patient, and you have to talk calmly and all of that. Wisdom is profitable to direct, I tell you. Kudos to good wives, good husbands out there. That word long suffering is the correct word for patience. I know. Long suffering. It's funny, but it's needed. Flexibility and patience. Transition periods are rarely smooth. Really smooth, and this is we telling each other the truth. I can tell you so many transitions I've experienced in my 26 years of marriage plus, and trust me, some were good, some were tough, some brought me into a place of depression. For me, talking to you, in fact, for almost 6 months in that period of transition, and that transition was relocation, like relocation, again relocation, I don't even know which word to use now. And I thought, we've relocated from here to here, even from continent to continent, I was okay. But this one from country to country in Europe, my goodness, I don't know what happened. Honestly, guys, I was in depression. I'm like, we can't go back where we are seems so hard. I can't do this, that. I was losing my mind. Anyway, another story for another day. So, be flexible. Not all transitions are smooth, but it can be if you have the right keys to navigate through it. Be patient with each other and give yourselves time to adjust. I guess time helped me, but for almost 6 months, guys, I didn't recognize myself. Even my children were so worried, like they've never seen mom like this. But within me, I'm like, I'm a believer, I'm strong, I'm that. But it was something took over me. I can't even explain it. I couldn't even pray. Imagine that transition. I couldn't pray. My mouth will not open. It was so heavy. I didn't handle that transition well. And there's my husband, he was shuttling 3 nations at the time as well. He would come around. I tried to be good and all, but I think those children would say, Mommy's not coping. Mommy's not coping. We don't know what's wrong. Most night she's not sleeping. She's crying. It's like they were reporting me to my husband. And me, I'm trying to do strong face. I'm okay, I'm this. And this man had to call me to sit me down. Tell me, what is it, Can you not cope? Do you want me to come and stay now? We're still doing this, I'm like, what do you mean I can't cope? But I'm coping fine. No. The children said, I just had to hands up. And then I just busted into tears. Like, I said, this man said, let us pray. I said, pray if you want to pray. I'm tired. My mouth could not open. He will lay hands on me and be praying. And I'll be looking at him. What is he talking about? It was that bad, guys. It was that bad. For that period, I would almost even think I wasn't a believer myself. So that transition was the one that really shook me the most. Not even the pregnancy that I thought I was going to lose or something. But I don't know what happened. Like I said, I've relocated a few times and I was okay. But that one in particular, my goodness, it shifted me. Oh my goodness. So I do understand these things can happen. And that's why you have to open up to your spouse. Don't hide anything, because if you don't open up, they'll just assume you're okay because you're putting on the front. They'll just assume you're okay. So please, let's learn to, say these things to our spouses so that it can help us as much as possible. So transition periods are not always smooth. Be patient with one another. Give yourselves time to adjust. Time heals. Time, tells a lot of things. So be careful, be patient. Again, spiritual anchoring, if faith-based, because I have to go there. Many couples find strength in prayer, in scripture, and shared spiritual values during transition. And I've just explained to you one of the many transitions I've had to go through. That time, we find strength in prayer. I could not pray, guys. It was like something stapled to my mouth. I could not pray. There was a time in my head, I said, for me, just pray this thing to come out of whatever it is. I was in fact, I said to myself that time, if I had gone to the doctors, maybe they would have locked me up in one rehab center. I don't know. Guys, I'm not joking, it was really bad. And I'll find a space, I'll be like, okay, let me just even try to open my mouth and pray. I couldn't. My mouth could not open. I said, okay, if I can't pray, let me worship, for where nothing was coming out. And then one day, when it's like my soul had had enough, that was when I knew what it means to groan in prayer. I said, if it's to, I was just, my mouth wouldn't open. That was when I knew that groaning can be a sort of prayer. And through the groaning, many groanings, I found I was able to praise. I couldn't pray still, but I would sing choruses. I will groan and moan. So my faith really, in a way at the time, helped me, because I was meant to find strength in my faith. Where else would I find that strength? So these things do happen. You can relate with this, Admission 66. Honestly, that period, when I look back, I'm like, honestly don't know what happened. But God, thank God for his word. Thank God for his word and my family. So, couples can find strength in prayer, scriptures, and shared spiritual values during transition. Whatever would work would help you, as long as it's something positive. Anyways, you don't want to use trouble to help trouble. There will be mega trouble. So let's be mindful. So let's look at some common transitions and how to handle them. I listed them before, so I just want to break them down now. Thank you guys for your engaging. I noticed that and I see that. I appreciate that. Please help tap so that others can join this live, or share with your friends. Let them be part of this talk, because these things it affects people. It affects marriages. So we need to talk about it. We can't keep shying away from it. You might think, oh, that's just life, but then it's affecting people negatively. So let's talk about it and find ways to cope in. So, common transitions and how to handle them. First one I'll mention is the newlywed to long-term partnership. Learn to manage expectations. Like we said, you all grew up from different homes. You have different upbringings, experiences of life, and now you've decided to bring those experiences together to merge it as one. You will have to take notes from each other until you get to that place. Okay, we're good. Okay, our notes, copy, tally, and all of that. So you have to learn to manage expectations. I gave an example of someone who just come in when they were spinster. They just throw the thing anyway. And I'll tell you, once upon a time in my life, growing up with my parents or my father, I had to arrange my clothes, not just in order, in order of color. Hey, this one is, I don't understand, like, why? If you put blue with red, you're in trouble. My father sees it. Koboko. Anyway. So I got used to that. My mind is like, so when I go places and I sit on a table, I keep arranging and stuff. I didn't even know I was doing that. So when I got married, and then the children started coming, when you were together, of course, you arrange everywhere is neat and okay. And then the children start coming, they got to stage where they'll be throwing this, put this one, put that. You will see me with brush and packer all the time. Brush and packer, sweeping every tiny thing. And then I'll be shouting, Joe, don't, but they're children. And then one day I sat down to myself. I'm like, for me, you're not handling this well. This is not the kind of mother I want to be, And I said to myself, how can I don't like it when it's not tidy, Once upon a time, this was my story. I'm like, what can I do? All by myself, I had to reflect. I don't want to be this kind of a mother. So the first thing is, put away the brush and packer. Let these children be. Let them play, because there's not how they'll play. They will not scatter everywhere. Tear the upholstery. Don't get me started. They will just, before you know, the thing is gone. That's the end. Do you know how many settees we've had to patch and all? I said, me, I'm not buying another. We'll sew it. Everybody will sit down on it, And then one day, my husband came back from work. Guess what I did? I, by myself, I scattered everywhere. I put everything upside down. I just turned the house upside down and now sat in there. My mind is like, get up, go and arrange. I said, no, I would leave it like that. I have to get over this thing, because that was my own solution at the time. But it did help me. My husband came and said, what happened in this one? And he wanted to start arranging. I said, no, please, just leave it. Leave it. Leave it. And the man was confused. I said, just leave it. He was surprised. I said, leave it. I needed to sit. I sat in that mess for hours, so that my brain can see that it's okay. At least before I sleep, I will tidy things away, instead of me shouting at the children all the time. I don't want to be that kind of a mother. So it took me a while, and I had to explain to him what I was doing. But now my husband said, you have now become the queen of mess. I said, just leave me. When I'm ready, I will tidy up. Imagine me saying that now. Hey, wonders will never end. So these things can happen, I do expect. Develop shared goals. That my goal then was to be able to sit in mess and not be agitated and not feel uncomfortable and all of that. Fine, I'm not saying leave the house in a mess all the time, but that was me. I had to go through that. Otherwise, I was becoming a mother I didn't recognize. So again, when you talk about newlyweds to long-term partner, I think I was jumping, that's parent anyway, I'm giving that example already. Newlywed to long-term partnership, a lot of things you have to take on. You know, when you go to see each other when you were courting, it's a different ball game. When you're not living together, it's a different ball game. So be mindful that as you transition to newlywed into that long-term partnership, continue dating each other. Continue dating. Sometimes I used to tell my husband, I enjoyed our courtship days more than this marriage. Oh, you're not treating me right. Oh, those days you go and buy me. You used to buy when I was at work back in Nigeria. You go and buy me Five Alive and meat pie and stuff that I like, you know, and bring to my work. And my manager will be like, "Who is that guy coming to see you?" I say, he's a friend. You know, all those managers are like fathers at work, because I was quite young at the time. And then with time they got to know who he was and all of that. He would chat me up, make sure I'm okay and all that. I said, now we're married, you think you have me? Oh, you'll be fine. Or what? No, keep dating me, please. Keep dating me. And I've tried one or two myself. So keep dating one another. Now I am hungry. Okay, I hope I'm not the cause of that. You can bring your food and sit and eat admissions. In fact, let everybody, if you have to get a cup of tea or something, please feel free whilst I'm still talking, because I'm going to be inviting us soon to come and, you know, share our experiences and how to cope with these transitions before they finish us, so to say. Again, parenthood, good example that I've given. Everybody is hungry. It's only what I have here. I would have given you something. Me, I've had my one meal a day today, so I'm good. But please, guys, feel free to get something, your dinner, whatever. You know, like I said, I'm still doing the talk now. So by the time I'm finished, you two would have finished eating. But you can still listen, so that one thing I may not have mentioned, you guys will mention that as well. So parenthood, share responsibilities, prioritize your relationship, not just the children. Okay, keep intimacy alive. In fact, sometimes I used to tease my husband when our children were much younger, when they were wearing Pampers or what have you. I said, my dear husband, I have a feeling if we were still living in Nigeria with these children, I don't think you'll know how to change Pampers. He said, what do I mean by that? I said, because, you know, the mindset is like the woman is the one in charge of that, especially when those babies are still babies, changing diapers, that was the man. But I tell you, we're in this together. Hey, if I can change the Pampers, you better learn to change Pampers. You know, shared responsibility. You need to Bluetooth wireless our food. I think it's just one samosa I'm planning for to demolish tonight. So yeah, I think I have a few I can share with us. Thank you, Godson. Thank you for the heart me. I wish, where is there any food here I can share, I can send? Let me see in my comment section. To let you know that I wish I have food. Let me type food. Do you like soup? You like pepper soup? Don't laugh, oh, you asked for it. Soup. This one is wireless. If please be having that soup, and it's 7 lives. Try it. Try it. It's very good. So parenthood is another transition. And I mean, that one, there's transition. And what do I mean by that? Because now the children are coming in, Of course, like we said, you have to prioritize your partner, your husband, your wife, not just the children, because you're still in that relationship as well. It is the meat pie that activated the hunger. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't have meat pie at home if no. Well, yeah, I get it. I know. Yeah, those hot meat pie with potato, carrots, those minced beef. Oh, okay, let me not make it worse. So, what was I saying? Parenthood. Guys, okay, enough of the food. Let's leave the food alone, please. Drink water and clean your mouth. Yeah, clean your mouth, clean. So we're good to go. Let's talk. This is the cocoa of the matter. So, like I said, prioritize each other. The children are coming, the children are there. Don't just abandon one another. That transition, most young couples find it challenging to cope with, because sometimes maybe the wife is the one that would dress and be good. Now the children are there, the husband comes back, the wife is tattered, she may not even have had a bath, and it's one child. But because the transition to motherhood, she doesn't have a clue, and she's not privileged to have mother-in-law or mothers to come and help do omugo, as they say, to look after. So she has to do everything by herself. I found myself, when I had my first, I found myself in that situation, to the point that some sisters in church, they would come and say they want to bath baby. I find it strange, because I said, I've coped all this while. It's okay, I'm used to it, kind of a thing. So, but what am I saying? Parenthood is a transition that not all couples really plan for. Some plan for maybe out of excitement, but even when they get in there, they find out that, And I tell you what I mean by transition in parenthood. For example, this woman married this person from this culture, and she's heard a lot of warning. Hey, if you don't give birth to a son as a first, they will not count you as wife. Oh, in fact, the whole family will be looking for another woman to come and give him the first son. And they've poisoned this person's mind. She was not afraid. In fact, she was even afraid to get pregnant. But of course, they really wanted to start their family straight away. She got pregnant. She refused to do scan. She just didn't want to know, because she was praying and hoping for a boy, a son, so that the husband would truly, And I'm like, certain cultures even don't help us transition well, I'm telling you. And then eventually, her water broke. She went to the hospital, and then push. Voila, a bouncy baby girl. Do you know that this woman refused to carry that child? She said, no, that's not her baby. Her child is a boy. He's this and that. They thought it was a joke. They had to call a psychiatric personnel to come and attend to this woman. She did not carry this child until about 3-4 days after, because she just felt, hey, what does that mean for her in her marriage? So that's a transition into motherhood, transition into another thing, sonship, daughtership, or whatever. So you can imagine. And they had to talk her down, and it took her family to come and tell her, look, these things happen. You are not God. And that doesn't mean your husband will go and marry. I don't know, there's certain cultures that doesn't help this transition. So let's be mindful what we do with one another in terms of transitioning. That's why I say be open, plain, and honest. If you had said to me when we were courting that if you don't give me a son as the first child, I will go and marry another one, I know I will not sign up for that. Go your way, mister. Let me go my way. It's as good, I'm telling you. So, unexpected transitions, imagine. God will help us. Again, another transition a marriage can go through is career shifts or financial changes. I know, admission, I say, you'll be amazed at the silly things that we allow to bring bigger problems our way. God will just help us, give us wisdom. Be transparent about money, because money, as you know, they say it's not money, it's the love of money. The love of money is the root of all evils. They didn't say money is the root of all. The love of it, meaning how you use that money, would that make it evil or good? So be transparent with money. Once upon a time, you keep your money, you account to it for your money to yourself. Now you're in a marriage relationship. Even if you don't have joint accounts, what are you doing with your money? What is your spouse doing with their money? Because if you still carry on with that individual mindset, you find out collective bills are not sorted out. And then at the end of the month, they're coming to collect their bill. They bring invoice. Who has paid what? Say, oh, no, I thought you did. Oh, I thought you did. Everybody's thinking everybody, and nobody did anything. So sit down and talk about it. These are things you need to talk about. We're transitioning into this marriage. Our finances must transition into collectiveness or togetherness, whatever you want to say. Okay, so talk about money. When you enter, before you enter into that marriage, what are we doing about money? Are we having one purse, or are we assigning who's going to be responsible for what and things like that? And at the end of the day, from time to time, you might fall short and then reach out to your partner. My dear, I need to balance this money for this bill, please help me, or I can refund it. Or I said, don't worry, I would even sort it out. But if you don't talk about it, issues will arise. Okay, reassess and reallocate responsibilities, because when you're talking about career shifts or financial changes, both of you are working, life is good, getting promotion. One day you get the sack letter. One of you gets the sack letter. Now one person is earning, the other is not. You have to reallocate and reassess your financial situation. Otherwise, you can't expect someone who's not earning to still face that huge responsibility. Things will fall short, and then it's on both of you. It's going to be on both of you. So you know that. Reaffirm that worth isn't tied to their income. Let them know that the fact that they've lost their job does not mean you're useless to me now. No. Some people have verbally even say that to their spouse. Because you're not earning, you're just so useless in this house. Hey, who does that? Who says that? Let's be mindful. Remember, we talked about patience and adaptation. Things happen. We have to learn to adapt to it so that we can still enjoy each other's company in that marriage relationship. So be mindful. Another transition, it's bad. Nobody wants to go through this. Does it happen? Of course it does. It can even take lives. Health challenges. Show empathy and serve each other lovingly. Like I say, when I give this talk, I try to, my own example that comes to mind, I try to share as much as possible, just so that you know that this person talking, I'm not here to judge anybody, but I'm here to say we can enjoy this life, we can enjoy this marriage, come what may. My experiences are different from yours, and we're supposed to learn and grow from experiences, but sometimes they're too traumatic. We can't even learn anything, or we don't even see anything good, and we carry on living life like that. We're just miserable and all that. No, that's not God's plan for us. Square XL, I see you. Thank you so much. I see you, Foreign M. Thank you so much for joining. Health challenges. Show empathy and serve each other lovingly. I remember that I've shared my story here about this pain in my tummy for years and years. It started when I was 9. And even when I was courting my husband, he knew about this. I didn't even think, would that scare him away or whatever? No, because he's on and off like that. Even at some point when I was courting him, I remember one of his uncles said, my friend used to have this pain, and they use, is it Trimag or something like that? I remember then, we're still courting. He said, for me, try that, maybe it will help. Because one time I went to visit them in the family house, and I was just lying on my belly all through. I don't know, that thing just triggered, and the pain came. So the baba of the point is health challenge. I know. And the pain came, and it was so bad. I felt so useless, and I wanted to be strong, but no, when this pain comes, forget, I'm just there like, and they had to go and look for that medicine or whatever, and they brought, it was like, those kind of, it's like peppermint, you have to chew it. Now, which one is this again? I've tried all sorts prior to that time. So I chewed it, and in less than 30 minutes, I felt so good. I'm like, Uncle, where did you buy this thing? I must go get it, because it gave me that relief at the time. In fact, thinking back now, it's like Gaviscon in peppermint, like a chewable. I think we have chewable Gaviscon now. I think that's the taste, actually, I remember. And I took it, I was okay. So even the family, even though I've not married into that family, they knew of this health challenge, and they supported me. They made sure I was okay, comfortable. So I'm grateful to God for them. So health challenge. Now imagine I didn't even have that until I got married and it started happening and what have you. That can happen. That's a transition as well. I was okay. Now I'm not okay. This is a transition. Am I handling this transition well? Is my husband handling that transition well? So health challenges will come as a sort of transition. And if you don't handle it carefully, it can bring a whole lot of stress, havoc. So allow space for grief and hope. Okay, when health challenges come, in the fact that you might just sit down and be lost in thought. Oh, I was so healthy once upon a time, now I have to deal with this, deal with that, and your mind is not grasping it. You may have to grieve that good health, once upon a time, but then doesn't mean you can't get back to good health again. Sometimes it could be so grievous and deadly, these health challenges. Imagine they diagnose one of the couple to say you only have 5 years to live. Oh my God, who wants to hear that? When they were saying I do, did they know that that was going to happen? Well, it's come about. It's become their reality. And they want to make sure that these 5 years they've given, either you pray fast and ask God to elongate this person's life, or you just make sure that this 5 years is going to be the best years of their life. That is, you're handling that transition properly, not just for your spouse, even for yourself as well. I've seen cases where the husband will leave the work to nurture the wife back to health. That is a transition that not everybody really can handle, but everybody can if they know how to. That's my belief. Again, seek medical and emotional support when you have health challenges to transition into. You don't have to do it by yourself. You do not have to do this by yourself. Again, empty nest. Somebody mentioned that when I was talking earlier. Empty nest, retirement. Reconnect and rediscover each other. That is a way forward. Reinvest time in shared hobbies or travels. I'll finish this point and I'll say this. I don't know who is listening out there. Again, discuss new roles and goals with one another so that, oh, thank you so much, Kenneth, for the heart me. You're not retired. I mean, you're retired, but not retired as such. And I've heard so many cases, one in particular that still hurts me. I know it's not my story, but it really hurts when this elderly sister, was sharing her story. They've lived together for, I think, 42 years. And now both of them are retired. They've made plans. They have houses. They were going to, the plan to sell one. They have the money so they can travel the world, go back to Africa and build something, because both of them eventually want to retire in Nigeria. And this person, the man said, okay, my dear, you're retired, I'm retired, we're good. Let me take this chunk of money. I'll go and find a space and start building so that we don't trouble one another, and I'll keep going back and forth. Once in a while, you can come visit me in Nigeria and we'll be good. When the children leave home and you are alone, well, you're not supposed to be alone. You're supposed to be with your spouse, really, but life happens. So this man took a chunk of money, went to Africa, and then he got into the wrong hands. Some old-time friends, you're back, this and that. Oh, there's this investment, you can do this, you can do that. In the process, he would go out, to clubs. They invited him to clubs, and he would go, they would see, drink and all of that. Whilst that was happening, the wife was back in the UK. And then, one time they just introduced this young lady to the forum or to the group or whatever, and he took to this young woman, and of course he didn't deny the fact that he's a married person and all, and he started taking to this person. This one said, there's this investment too, there is this, that. Anyway, he squandered the money, and the wife will call, have you found a place, have you done this? Or I think he actually got a place and they were building from scratch, but you could see that they've not even touched it at all. He had finished spending the money. Meanwhile, that money was enough to erect that building or whatever it was. Said this woman said, okay, I'm coming to visit. Don't worry. I just need some more money to do that. He was just spending money anyhow. And at the end of the day, sent a letter to the wife, or was it a letter or email? I'm like, really? After 42 years, that he's found this person he wants to settle with in Nigeria. This sister of mine nearly passed out. All these years, we've suffered, we've built, we've toiled. You just want to throw it away? And the children were grown up, children were living on their own, and that really caused a rift. They didn't want to have anything to do with their father. They're like, how on earth would they do this to their mother? And then she developed high blood pressure in the process. Our health was affected. I'm talking about people who have retired. Please start talking about retirement with your wife, with your husband, before retirement age will come. Because if you don't plan now, if you don't plan not to fail, you are planning to fail. How did they say that phrase, Please be careful. Make adequate plan with wisdom. What are you looking for? So now you feel your wife is too old to satisfy you or to do whatever. I don't know. But at the end of the day, we thought it was a thing, so to say, we get over it. No. This person started having children for this man. At that age of retirement, now carrying baby. It was a mess. It was a big mess. Now imagine such transition in your marriage. Should that have happened? No. That's why we need to be careful. The people we surround ourselves with, catching up with old acquaintances, are they helping you to transition into that retirement age gracefully or disgracefully? Let us be mindful. Discuss new roles. If you're the type that maybe the husband has retired, the wife is still working, you not come and be don't say, every time you go to work, you work. No, don't be selfish. You have retired does not mean they have retired. You have to understand and respect that as well until they get to that retirement age. And some people can even retire early. I get it. But don't make life hard for your spouse because you are now retired. You feel you're not doing anything. Your spouse should be with you 24/7. Meanwhile, they still have a job. They're still managing a company. They're still CEO. They're still doing certain things. But plan times together. They can plan holidays. You guys can go away and do stuff together. But don't make life miserable for them because you are retired and they're not. I'll leave it at that. So let's just look at the negative impact of transition in a marriage. I had to, find this because initially I said, maybe I'll leave it for us to talk about, but I don't want to leave it to chance. The negative impact old acquaintances my father would not let go of ruined his marriage and our family. Leslie, maybe it's your story. No, it's not yours. I know it's not your story I'm talking about. It's amazing. And this thing, it can disrupt a whole family dynamics. God will give us wisdom. Let's talk about the negative impact, or otherwise I will not be balancing this talk for us. Emotional disconnect. Those are negative impact a transition can bring to a marriage relationship if not handled well. During major life changes, partners may become emotionally distant, either due to stress, differing coping mechanisms or lack of communication. You're not coping well, or this person is trying to cope, this one is not, and they're trying to help you. You're like, no, this and that, and you're just disconnected from them. That is what that transition has brought about. Should it be so? No. Therefore, we need to connect emotionally when we go through a transitional phase, especially something new that either of you haven't gone through it before. You may have, in a way, maybe as a child, your parents separated, or as a child, one parent with the children relocated somewhere and the other is left, and it kind of disrupted life. Some people grow up resenting one of their parents because of such transitions. Okay, thank you, TikTok. Okay, one partner may feel neglected or misunderstood, leading to emotional isolation. Because when you feel hurt, you just shut down mentally, emotionally, and all of that. But it shouldn't be so. But these things happen when transitions are not handled properly. I'm going to have to rush through. Again, communication breakdown. That is a negative impact. Stressful transitions can cause arguments, misunderstandings, or even silence. Nobody wants to live in a silent home. I have you to talk to. You're just silent on me. It's going to bring a lot of conflict, So if couples don't openly express their fears, their expectations, or their concerns, resentment may build up. It may build up. Again, loss of intimacy, physical and emotional intimacy may suffer if you don't handle that transition well, especially after transition like childbirth, financial loss, or illness. Some women have had children and they never remain the same again, mentally, body-wise, physically and all of that. But it's not left on their spouse to help them. Say those sweet words you used to say, oh my dear, you know what? You've just had our baby. You still look amazing to me. I love your shape. Oh, this belly is still going to carry more of my children. Just say things that would help her not lose that intimacy with you. And God will help us, really. God will help us. Sometimes exhaustion or emotional stress can dampen affection and connection. She's struggling to get herself back, and this man is not understanding. He just want the other room, and they just feeling this anger, like you're not even understanding what I'm feeling. It happens most times when women transition into motherhood. a lot of hormones come out, a lot of feelings they don't even have control over sometimes. And if the man cannot understand these things, he will just feel you're punishing me since you had that baby, the other room has been shut, this and that. But you really have to talk about things, help one another through it. It's not fair on the man, it's not fair on the woman. Let's be fair together. I don't know, I think I'll leave it there. Again, unrealistic expectations. These are negative impact it can have on marriage, that transition. One partner may expect the other to adjust quickly, just like that example, or just to understand that the other room must happen tonight. And you're not mindful that this woman has not even had shower since morning. She's so tired. The baby has been crying. Even the mother has been crying. And this man is coming to tell me about other room. What is other room? I don't want, And then you feel, oh, stop being dramatic, woman. I don't know why I'm doing drama for us tonight, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. So you just expect, other people, they had babies, bam, they're back on their feet. Don't be comparing your spouse when transition comes. They are different. Thanks, I am led to do that already. Do not compare. You don't know what, please. That comparison can bring a hard resentment from your spouse. Don't say, see Mrs. A in number 4. They had baby just last week. Oh, I saw her pushing buggy. I saw her doing this. Stop it, please. It's not fair. It's not nice. And you're not going to get the other room with that kind of talk either. It's evil, I tell you. Yes. Be careful. Thank you, Leslie. Unrealistic expectation. Because Mr. A coped quickly does not mean your wife will cope quickly. You don't know what is going on with her. And talk with her so that she can cope quickly. Don't just abandon and be dishing out words. Oh, get hold of yourself, woman or man. No, please. Disappointment can arise when expectations aren't met. This person expects at this time, give me time to heal mentally, bodily, and all of that. And say, are you the only one? Are you the first one to have baby? Okay, I don't want to get in a state. That's how I'll be leaving it there. You complete this statement. Again, financial pressure is a negative impact, transition can bring if not handled well. I just mentioned them before. They're just adding a bit of flesh to it now. Transition like job loss. Nobody planned to lose their job, but these things happen. Relocation, like I said, even our relocation, it was impromptu, it was abrupt, so we didn't really sit down to plan as such. When it's like, oh yeah, pack your load and go kind of a thing. So you're just trusting God to help you through. And oh my God, anyway, let me not go into that again. So relocation or supporting children through school can lead to money stress, which is one of the leading causes of marital conflict. You say, what's happening here? I paid school fees last month. You complain and all that. Pressure is too much. Hey, when did I just pay one school fees? Another one is coming. Say, you've lost your job. And you've been trying to look for work. Are you the only one? You've been there for so long. Find a job. I think you're becoming lazy. No. When last have you said, bring your CV? Let me even see. Let's adjust it. When last did you say, so which site are you looking for work? Oh, my friend mentioned this site. Let's try this site. Don't do this dishing out. You're meant to be there as a source of support, please. So let's be careful so that we don't keep having all this marital conflict because we're not understanding our spouses or the transition they're going through. Again, identity crisis can be another negative effect or impact. Individuals might struggle with their roles, e.g. from spouse to parent, like I said, or from employee to retiree. I've said that enough, so I'm just going to say that. So this shift can cause insecurity. It can cause dissatisfaction or feeling of being lost, and it affects that marriage relationship. When you feel, because you're retired, like I said, your spouse has not retired, and you just are demanding, you feel bored, you did this, can't you just stay with me today? Tell your boss you're not feeling well, just stay with me today. Because if things were to be the other way around, would you too? Would you do that? So let's be mindful so that, we don't create unnecessary crisis for us in that transition. Again, jealousy or insecurity is another one. When one partner progresses in their career or social status and the other feels left behind, insecurity or envy can creep in. So you're not helping your spouse to enjoy that transition. If it's a good transition, you're supposed to enjoy it with them and be proud of them. Don't just say, ever since you've gone this, ever since we don't even know peace again in this house. And I know some people will rub it in like, what are you doing with your life? I was down there before, now I'm way up there. Some spouse might be proud and be talking down on their spouse as well. So please, we need to balance this thing. Don't allow jealousy or insecurity not to make you transit well into that new phase of life. So be mindful, because this can lead to power struggles or decrease the support you're giving to one another. I'm going to round up soon. Neglect of self or the relationship. So in focusing on the transition, e.g. raising kids or relocating, couples might stop nurturing their relationship or their personal well-being. And this is very important. If you don't feel okay within yourself, by yourself to start with, you're going to affect your spouse, the way you handle things. Now we've transitioned into this phase. You've just abandoned yourself. You just abandoned this relationship. You're treating me like I don't even exist. And if your spouse is singing that song, you know what you have to do. You need to retrace your steps. Okay, where have I stopped caring? Where have I stopped providing? Where have I stopped? And if we're honest with ourselves, nobody's perfect, like I said, but we have sense to reason. Certain things, you don't even need help. You yourself can tell yourself the truth. But we're too proud, especially when we feel we've created a lot of havoc. We're too proud to come back, and make amends. But this is not going to take anything off of you, but it will bring a lot of respect and, admiration to you. So please, don't neglect yourself when you transition. It's very crucial you look after yourself still and nurture your relationship as well. Slowly jealousy drop in. You might not even realize. I know. We're flesh and blood. I understand these things happen. But when it's getting too deep, be mindful. And if your spouse is telling you, are you jealous? You're behaving like a jealous person. Don't say, oh, no, don't start. You're defensive all the time. No. Listen. Because they're experiencing something with you they haven't seen before. And even you don't even know you're exhibiting this. So hear what your spouse is saying, so that you can nurture one another, please. Again, poor conflict resolution. When under pressure, couples may react to, they react more impulsively to conflict. And most times it's negative, so we have to be mindful. Small issues may escalate very quickly if there's no healthy method for managing disagreement. A lot of times couples, argue and fight each other needlessly just because this person is not ready to hear that person and this other person is not ready to hear. Poor resolution of conflicts, it would destroy that marriage if care is not taken. And again, drifting apart. Okay, couples in a transition may drift apart, especially in that case of a new mother, a new mom, and the man too is a new father as well. So everybody is dealing with that transition in their own way. For the fact that the man is not the one breastfeeding or what have you does not mean he's not going through that phase, because now he has to be more patient. The things you used to do anyhow, anytime with your wife, you can't really do that, because she can't say, baby's been crying, I need to feed baby. That's when you're kissing them on the neck and doing that, and they might get irritated and their reflex will just hit you. Say, my abusive wife or what. No, things happen, so be mindful. They're feeding the baby, rub her feet. My goodness, that other room will open that night. Be proactive, be creative with your spouse. Good evening, woman of purpose. I see you. Roslan, you're welcome. So please do everything to make sure you're not drifting apart. Over time, if changes are not navigated together, couples can grow in different directions, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually even. So let's be mindful. Transitions are inevitable in marriage, but without intentional communication, not just communication, effective communication, mutual support or grace, they can create cracks in even the strongest marriage. I tell you that. So being aware of these potential pitfalls is the first step towards protecting the relationship during those seasonal changes. You're aware, okay, this is coming, or it came abruptly. It shouldn't be that you guys are fighting each other. Sit down and say, oh my God, this has happened. How do we handle this? What do we do? So please, again, to balance this talk, let's look at the blessings of transition. And I think that's the last bit I'm going to say. And please feel free to send an invite. Let's hear your views about transitions in marriage. So the blessings of transition, though difficult, transitions can refine your love and deepen the trust you have for one another. It can increase emotional resilience because you didn't think you have what it takes to go through that new phase. But together, oh my goodness, like nothing can bring you guys down. Again, transition can help build legacy through shared victories. You came, you saw, you conquered, and all of that, and pass it on to the next generation as well. Let them see that this transition came, it didn't kill us, we killed it. And again, transition can provide testimony of enduring love. Oh, the health challenge came. I was carrying my spouse up and down different hospital, this and that. But thank God, we were able to overcome that. I've heard of cases of this person beating cancer 3 times over, but for the support of their spouse. So marriage isn't just about surviving the good times, guys. It's about learning, growing, and thriving through the difficult times. Because those difficult times will come and strengthen you if you truly let it. Or it can actually break you if you let it. The choice is yours. So in my conclusion today, know that every marriage will face transitions, but it's how we respond to that defines the strength and the health of that relationship. So with love, effective communication, flexibility, and shared values, transitions can become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Okay? Let your marriage be a journey where both partners evolve together, hand in hand, through every season. That ends my talk today. However, our question, a couple of questions here, and I want us to really bring it home. Because when we share our experiences, it drives it home, and people out there know that, oh my God, so this person is going through that transition and it helps them reflect deeply and know that they can also overcome, or they can go through it smoothly. So my 2 questions for us today is, do you think that effective communication is needed to have a smooth transition in marriage? Do you think that effective communication is needed to have a smooth transition in marriage? And second one, rather, which transition in your marriage relationship has been the most challenging so far, and how are you navigating through it? Which transition in your marriage has been the most challenging so far, and how have you navigated through it, or you're navigating through it? Thank you guys for always listening. Thank you.
Rainbow, the promise, the future, and life. Love is light that's within me, shine to the whole world, Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside.
So that is me done, and please send an invite. Let's talk some more about this so that our marriage can keep enjoying the goodness of marriage. We're not going to allow any stage or any transition, break us apart. No, we are not going to let that happen. Or perhaps you just, transitioned into a different phase and you're lost, you're confused, both you and your partner, you don't even know words to, begin the communication or whatever it is. Let's talk about this here, because like I say, I'm on an assignment here. Let's talk about it here. This is a safe space to do that. I wish my parents, especially my dad, listened to such marriage information. I wish to. Even me, I'm from a broken home. And I said to myself, no, my home will not be broken. Come what? God, you have to help me, oh. I must break that record. That's my goal. We must break that record. Everybody breaking up, divorce, that. No, Father Lord, we want to do it how you say it will be, and we want to enjoy those benefits of marriage as well. Kenny G, babes, I see you. Thanks for joining. So guys, send an invite. Let's come up and talk some more, because I'm mindful of the time as well. Let's talk some more about this. It's very crucial. Whatever transition we go through in marriage, it should not be the end of that marriage. It should not break us apart. It should not drive a wedge between husband and wife. So, welcome everyone into the box. I see us, admission, Kenneth P. Leslie, thank you so much for joining in. I hope our week has been good. I know it's busy life. You always still find time to come here on Insight, and that's why I appreciate all of you so much. So the first person in my box is admissions. Admission, don't pass the baton, no, please. Good evening. I hope you're good. You're welcome to Insight. Let the guru talk first. Who is the guru? We're all here. We're learners on this platform. Nobody is guru anything. So even you, your own guru-ness, please start for us. Because you're the first person in my box. So I'm just going to go according to Woman of Purpose. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, man. You box me to a tight corner. Can't even escape. Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I must start by saying the talk was so wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful, yeah. There's so much to take. Yeah. So much to take that there's no one that will listen to this and will not say, I was able to take this to add to what I have and all of. And that's the essence of our coming to your platform most of the time. Well done. More grace.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Talking about transition, I think there was one that actually come to mind. I have 2 points to make here.
Okay.
One was maybe draw an inferences from my own. It all started with we settled back in Nigeria, and all of a sudden, I think I made some small money and said my wife should come over for holiday, go abroad. And the next thing, the woman was reluctant to come back. And was a bit shocked. And I said, what's wrong with you? That's not what we said. And the next thing was even trying to get a school for my son. We had only him then, and they no. I said, oh, my friends have made all the arrangement to make me stay. I said, no. Then I said to myself, the best thing I can do is to prepare. So I begged, I said, come back home and let's just sit down and talk about this. If we talk about it, oh, you're not going to let me. I said, no, we will go back. Well, let's plan. Let's have, like, say, a schedule. Say, within 2 years and that, this is what we will do. And somewhere along the line, she agreed and came. And before you know it, we put things together. And here the journey took off. In just about a year or two, that we're able to sit down, pull resources together, did everything. I think it was God's, when the flashes in the hand of God is doing certain things. Yeah. We made more resources and was able to move. But it was a transition I was not prepared for. I must use the word. It was sudden. I've never thought of living abroad and all. A typical person that wants to stay in his country and probably live the rest of his life there. Well, here we are. A challenge came in. And we were nearly wedded too. We're talking about maybe just 2-3 years. And we had to move. Wow. And getting to where we found ourselves now became a different ball game entirely. Nigeria, we had 2 maids, we had things around. There was so much help. But here, nothing. So I had to carry so much. But God saw us through. So there will always be those kind of challenges that will come in every transition. I'm able to say this because it belonged to me, and that's my own story. And I remember there was a point to make somewhere about people who just jilted each other all of a sudden just because there was a transition. Somebody got an upper hand and all that. That one really moved me, yeah. Particularly when my brother Leslie too said there was something like that too that happened. I'm able to come back with that, yeah. At some point. It's a bit kind of emotional. I don't want to, yeah. Let's get all the good points and we all move on together and we can start getting sentimental and all that. I'll bring that. I need to bring it in because it's something I can touch. I lived and saw it very raw. Wow. Yeah, let others take over for now. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. I don't know, woman of purpose, if you're there to do this or it's fine, because I do understand. Even me can see my face these days with this red eye, but it is what it is. This is the transition I found myself now.
Oh, okay. All right, let's go. I'm here.
Okay. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so yeah, so I think you got is it Kenny?
Kenneth P. Yeah.
Kenneth, I can't see the name. Yeah, hi Kenneth.
Debbie, I see you.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, good evening,
Good
everybody. Good
evening.
evening, host,
Thank you,
and
sir.
good evening, everyone on board and those in the comment section. God bless you, God bless you, woman of God. We
Amen.
appreciate you for the words that you have spoken into our life tonight, and we thank you for the wonderful topic.
Thank you,
I
Lord.
wish I will start it with this way. I wish our father and our mother were in receiving all this lecture. I think the marriage could have been the best. Well, we thank God for our life today that we are receiving this lecture and we are using it to support and to encourage ourselves that there will not be a transition in our marriage.
Amen.
Because I think that what affect our father and our mother is because of effective communication was never there in the time. It affected them a lot. But thank God for our life today.
Thank God.
We and our spouse, we are trying to build that effective communication, whether it's good, whether it's bad. We are trying to make sure that the kind of lifestyle that our fathers and our mothers live, we don't want to live that. That's why we say no turning back, and there will not be no turning back. We fight it till the end, whether the devil like it or
Amen.
not,
Amen to
because
that.
we are seeing that a lot of marriage today they started well, but they did not end well. And then in the middle of it, I think something distraction. Maybe I would say maybe discussion. They forget the vows that they make to each other. That whether it's good, whether it's bad, we're going to live. We're going to stay together, whether we like it or not. But something come in. That is why we today we don't want anything that will come in. Because the word of God have already said what will separate us from our God that we are serving. Because that's why we are trying in our marriage every day. We are trying to put God first,
Yeah.
that He is the head of the home. By so doing, and when the effective communication come in, you stay together as one and we live together as one. And we pray that God will continue to strengthen us on daily basis, because at times we do offend each other whether we like it or not. But when we realize that the word that we have spoken, it ought or it affect our spouse, at least we need to come for apology. When apology come in, at least we begin to live as one. By so doing, transition may not come into our marriage, and nothing can stop that bond in us. We pray that God strengthen every marriage, and we pray that God help us to abide and to live together in oneness. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. Amen.
Amen.
So that's why I said I might go a bit personal tonight, but please feel free if you do not want to share. Honestly, please feel free. So I'm gonna ask Kenneth P, woman of purpose. This is what we're going to be doing with everyone that is going to share with us, because I want to believe all of us here are married, even if it's 1 year or 6 months, doesn't matter. So Kenneth P, can I ask you which transition in your married relationship has been the most challenging, and how did you navigate through it, please?
Yeah, I will say from my own part, from the very start, as somebody that have a very, when they say this temper, but time to come, I try to begin to tolerate and to work on myself, because I don't like, I would say when I first start marriage, I don't tolerate nonsense, because I think the background that I was coming from and the background my spouse was coming from was not the same, or they were
Right.
totally different background. Because I grew up in an environment that was very rough, and she grew up in an environment that was very gentle. So I was trying to use that the
Roughly.
environment that I grew up from. But at times goes on, I see that it's not working. I try to adopt. And when I see that when I try to adopt, I believe that is where I begin to see that it's not everything that we saw when we were growing up
That will
that
work for us.
that work for us, because we saw it in a rough way. The tones, I would say the tones, the behavior, the character that we saw when we were growing up was not helpful in marriage, and that is why we see our fathers today. May they so rest in peace. Like my own dad, I will say may they so rest in peace, because I wish he's alive today, listening to this kind of topic. I think he should have lived long and enjoy his lifespan today. But God, God knows the best. So it's important we should know that when we marry, there must always be up and down. But you try to observe and try to understand where each and everyone is coming from, so that you try to build a home that it will be peaceful, there will be unity, there will be love, and you will enjoy, and the blessings of the Lord can come upon your own. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Do you have any more questions? Or
That's it. So we'll talk about effective communication. If it's truly needed to go through that smooth transition, and then we ask the personal question. And I mean, please feel free to share. And if you don't want to, we do understand. Which is the second question: which transition is your marriage relationship going through that is most challenging, and how people tend to have navigated through it, or you're still navigating through it? I don't know. So
okay,
those are the two questions, please. Yeah.
okay, all right. Let's move down to Leslie. Good evening, Elder Leslie. I know you've been here since the beginning, so you've heard all the questions. So the floor is
Good
yours.
evening. No,
Good
Good
evening.
evening. How you doing?
I'm very well. I enjoyed the talk a lot. I
Oh,
really enjoyed the talk.
welcome.
Yeah, I enjoyed it so much. I started wishing for my father to be here to listen to
Oh,
it. You know,
you
and
can talk
I think
after
since
if it's triggering anything for you. You know, that's why I'm here.
no, I think it seems to be the general tone. It's like, I wish my dad was here to listen to this because,
Oh,
a lot of things. It's like he was very blessed with a lot of material things, but um I think in terms of how he handled the marriage, it just I think he was I think he had a lot of issues he didn't really realize that was going to affect his marriage, and I think he just thought it's him just making decisions, and not knowing that it was how he grew up that affected a lot of things. And unfortunately, sometimes we think success will cover it up, but it doesn't. It just kind of makes it worse, because now you had the money to do the things you really want to do, and he had that, and it didn't bode well. So yeah, I just wish he was here to listen to some of these things, because especially where like he has certain friends who he in a way I think he outgrew them in terms of where he was in life, the kind of people he was moving with, but he has certain bad habits that he liked, so he still kept them around, and in the end they became a big problem. And I hold him responsible because he had, let's just say, he had the opportunity to make great friends who were Christians, but he just didn't like that Christian aspect, So I remember one particular one where there was one of a deputy ambassador. They were living in Korea then, and they used to go out drinking and hanging out, everything, and they were just great friends. And then the guy became a Christian, and my dad was so upset. he was just, he was just so upset. So, and I remember I was just a young Christian then. And then he took me over to the ambassador's house. It was like, oh, let me see whether you and him will relate. So when the ambassador found out that I was a Christian, he's like, oh, wow, your
wow.
dad should just why don't you come and join us and become a Christian. I was like, my dad was like, please keep that to yourself.
Oh,
And after that, he never let me see the guy again. So I knew that he was
wow.
just, it, yeah. So he just has certain bad habits he was not going to stop. So yeah, but in terms of the transition in marriage, oh yeah, that's a big one. I think for us it was having children, especially our first son. That was, in fact, before he was born and everything, the process of from where we were living before to where we moved to now when we got our first place, that was a big that was a big transition, in terms of how that worked out. So yeah, that was a big transition. That was some hard work, and it was our first one. I think was the toughest transition. And then when we found out that he wasn't going to develop at the same milestones, this was like 2 years in. That was another transition we had to grow. We had to go through and grow through. The growing part was because it changed our parenting dynamic, and to be honest, we owe him a great credit because it taught us to be better parents. It really we really had to unlearn a lot of things, especially me in terms of how they raised me from Nigeria, boarding school, the whole 9 yards. So it really helped us to become better parents, and that period was what I would say was the toughest period. And then when we had our second son, it was the complete reverse. Everything was just 50-50. In fact, it was too quick for us, but we were better prepared for him when that time came. So a lot of the things that we went through with the first, he possibly didn't even. In fact, he even tells us that the way we raise him is very, very different from the way we talked to the first one. So yeah, it was that our first child. Yeah, was the biggest transition we had to go through. We've had other transitions in terms of maybe things we might have to purchase or move, or in terms of my immigration control. But I think our first son was the big one because we changed. We changed. Yeah.
I like what you said. We changed, not I changed or she changed.
Yeah.
We.
Yeah, we changed. That's why I know it was such a big. It was a big one for us. It was a very big one, and I think it also strengthened our relationship. But that's why I'm saying like challenges in marriage, they come in ways you don't even expect it. Like if they told us that our first child would be him,
I know.
how would we know? How would we know? But here he is now. He's 15, and we like him very much. He's quite tall, and he has really changed as well. He's gone on to. But yeah, those first few years, oh my days. So yeah, that was it. Yes, thank you. I'm waiting to hear your story. I might be able to share where that thing happened with my dad, the point where it broke down, a lot
I'll
of
come
things.
with
But
it.
yeah,
I'll come with it.
It's
thank you,
fun.
hostess. I think you've triggered us to remember our parents today.
Even me, I remember my one. I mean, those days, it's like, will those days ever finish? Like, free me already. Because if this is what marriage is about, I don't think I want to partake of. Here we are today, thank God.
Do you want to ask the question about do you think effective communication is needed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Leslie, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. What the question
Yeah.
again?
So the
So,
first question is, do you think, I'll say it so that, I don't know if you got it, Woman of Purpose.
I've written it
I thought.
down.
Oh, okay, fair enough, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
just okay, just a summary. Okay, do you think effective communication is needed to have a successful
Yeah.
conflict in a marriage?
Yes. Especially because transition is not. It's like you're moving from one point to the other, and it tends to, in a way, transition helps in terms of how you move from one. Because if you move from one point to the next point without any transition, it can be quite difficult. It can almost you might not be prepared for the changes that new place will demand of you, and it will. It will. And that's why I said I remember my dad in terms of there was a point where something went really wrong, and then the compensation was a lot more money than he thought, and because of that there was a transition. I think I remember it was like an 8 month transition from when that situation was about to change to when it changed, and because he wasn't ready and he wasn't prepared, when it did fully take off, he just was not the same person, and all those bad habits just grew even more. So just imagine somebody being given $100,000. I'm just giving it. That's the idea of what came into his hands, and then that being the next 2-3 years. If you are not ready mentally, emotionally, and you haven't dealt with certain issues, it would just increase those problems. A lot of people think money will solve problems, but I saw that with my dad first time that because he hadn't dealt with certain issues, those problems it just became a place where I can indulge. That's what I'm just saying. I can just indulge and I can do certain things now without anyone questioning me or calling me to order in a sense. So yeah, it's very, very important. And I feel where my mom was that in terms of effective communication, because now when it happened to us, in a way, it also prepped me and primed me for when we were dealing with our first child. It also we had to learn to talk and had to find out how we are going to deal with everything with first baby and the changes. And my wife was the main worker at that time. So I think I prayed. I think I prayed the most in that season, the prayer I prayed, but it made us talk. I'm telling you, so effective communication is very, very important because when that season came to an end and the change came, this was like maybe 3 years in. Oh, I'm telling you, we were far better than where we were when we were first coming into it.
That's good to hear.
So that communication is very important, very, very important. Yeah. And it just gets better because now for us, when we now knew, we've overcome this major challenge, it was like, okay, well, this becomes the benchmark we can start to use every time to remember, we've been through this, we can go through the next point and the next one and the next one.
Thank you.
I think as you were talking, I was just thinking of like two people when you are trying to go. Maybe it's because I just came from manual handling training today, so I'm thinking that when you're trying to lift the weight or something, you have to talk and you have to communicate. You have to agree which way your direction you're going to avoid hurting the other person or the other person hurting you. And marriage is like that, isn't it? Because you're always constantly this. I mean, life is full of transition. You're going to change. Change is always going to come. You cannot avoid it. But I guess, like you said, the key is when you're talking and you keep those open communication channels open, you can then navigate it. Because if I say, okay, we're going to move left, and then you're aware of it, we can move left together. But if you're moving left, I'm moving right. If we're not careful, we're going to tear something. Something's going to break. Something's going to get damaged.
Something will break. Yeah.
So that's what, as you were talking, that's the image that came into my head. But yeah, definitely. I didn't hear everything that you said because I came a bit late. I had a meeting. But transition in marriage for me, okay, where do I start with? Which transition in marriage was the most challenging? So many. Okay, I'll try and pick one. I think sometimes, based on what Leslie was saying, sometimes you can get used to always having challenges that are difficult. But sometimes transition can also be positive. Like, you were saying about, maybe sometimes getting into money or maybe a job promotion or something. That kind of transition that should be a positive thing can also bring things out of scale because you're so used to maybe sometimes handling the negative transitions that you become good at it. But when the good transitions come,
you don't even know how to celebrate it, maybe.
When you're supposed to be celebrating and maybe relaxing and chilling, it becomes a problem because it's a new environment and no one knows how to move. So then it becomes I think it can sometimes be very difficult. So when I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about I used to have a lot of health problems and I used to, my husband was really good supporting me and helping me. But it's like as I got better and healthier and I wanted to do more for myself and, it became difficult for him to kind of adapt to that kind of version of me because he was used to the kind of helpless, I need help, I need this to do that and that. And as I got better and I became more, I want to do things, he struggled to adapt to that transition. Wow. Now she wants to cook. Now she wants to go out. Now she wants to do this. She wants to do that. And it's like, who is this person I'm living with? And it can it can make that person feel insecure because on reflection I can think about it, because he's come from a person of helping all the time and be relied on to then getting that withdrawal from that person. So it's a very uncomfortable and it did really cause a lot of issues. And even though I would say we try to talk it out. When two people are so in extreme corners, it's very hard to get one person to kind of understand, or even both of you to kind of come together. I understood where he was struggling to understand, but it was also important for him to understand where I was coming from because I wanted to get better. And I felt like, in a way, he was happy to have me in that place where I always needed him more than not to be needed more and wanted to do things for me. And I felt like he was trying to stop my growth, And in a way, some people in that situation will just go back and play like, oh, I need your help to do it. If I can't do nothing, But it wasn't for me. For me, it was like, I want to get better. I want to get back to the person I used to be, who used to do things and used to contribute and used to, work and do all that stuff. I wanted to be that. And I wanted to be, helping with the kids and doing more things. So it was a very challenging time. And we tried talking and try to get people to mediate, try to get people for him to understand. But it was difficult for him, and I would say it wasn't as difficult for me because I kind of understood where he was coming from, but it was frustrating for me, I would say, but more for him difficult. But definitely in terms of communication thing, we need it, and I think if you can't communicate because both of you are at different ends and no one is willing to kind of bend and see the other point of view, then you have to get, professional, you have to seek help, support, people to intervene and kind of say, what, it's not a bad thing that she wants to do things, she wants to cook and she wants to do that. Actually, you know what? It's a good thing. There's benefit to it, And I try to promote all these things as benefit to me getting better, but he just could not see it, And it took a period of time for him to kind of adjust. But you have to communicate. Yeah.
That is a rare example, but these things do happen. I mean, everybody should be happy. Oh, my spouse is back on their feet. You think it's a transition that this person has been praying for. You remember, I don't know if you were here when I said, imagine in newlyweds, the wife would just throw this jumper, she just throw it there, and the husband will come and say, hey, you put this, just hang it there, and she's still in that spinster space, so to say. And then after nagging for a week into the marriage, she now decides, okay, for peace to reign, let me just hang this coat where this man. So when she comes, he just hangs it there. And unknown to the man, he's gotten used to doing that for her. And he came one and he just, where is your jumper? I said, but I hung it where you want me to hang. He said, well, I love doing that. But you were complaining.
You see?
No, you can imagine. I do understand that. It sounds twisted, but this is what happens because we don't know how we're going to react to a transition until we get to that transition. That's how we're talking about it. Because all these examples, honestly, I'm grateful. Wealth of experience here. Because even for me, I'm thinking I've had such similar case. Could be the other way around. But at the end of the day, like you said, and everybody have said, effective communication. Because if you don't talk through, you will not know what is going on in his mind. He too will not know what. He says, you should be happy. I still want to care for you. And some women will take advantage. You know that.
Yes.
Stop there. Okay, they say a headache. The man will run. Go and bring Panadol. Hey, this, my feet. And the man will rub it. Some will take advantage.
But that's what I'm saying. Some people love it. They'll be like, oh, let me just be like that. Let me just, let me stay in my corner.
How long?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
The name. How do you even get the names up sometimes? I don't know.
Let me see.
The male child.
The male child advocate.
Yes. Good evening, sis.
Good evening, Mama. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, so I don't know if you were here earlier, but we're talking about transition in marriage, and if you want to start off, and then we've got some 2 questions. Yeah, you can just give your thoughts about it, and then I can ask you the questions later.
Okay. I wasn't paying too much attention.
Okay.
And I think I still want to listen more before I can talk.
You want to listen more? Okay. Well, maybe okay. So We come
Maybe
back.
you can throw a question. Maybe you can throw a question at me.
Okay,
So
so like on Thursday here we talk about marriage relationship topics. So you can see transitions in marriage. So I don't know if you're in a marriage relationship yourself.
I'm
Are
in a
you?
marriage.
You are?
Yeah, I'm in a marriage.
Okay, so the first question after the talk, maybe we should try and come for the talk because it kind of opens up our mindset, so to say. So, do you think effective communication is needed to have a smooth transition in marriage? And I've mentioned so many kinds of transitions. The people that have spoken already have mentioned different types of transitions a marriage will go through. Say, for example, once upon a time you were a spinster, he was a bachelor, everybody doing life, and now you're married, you're together, and your finances, you have to talk about it. How that's a transition into marriage life is one thing. Your finances transiting as well, or transitioning, I don't know which grammar now, I'm confusing myself. Transitioning your finances together could be a challenge because you might want to spend money this way, he wants to spend that way. But if you don't talk, how would you know what each person is thinking, your expectations of one another? And then you get to a point where you have your first child, you got pregnant. That's another transition for both of you, even though the woman is pregnant, but both of you are pregnant as far as I'm concerned. Because the man needs to understand that now she's pregnant, hormonal change. He has to understand that when she's in a state, give her space or give her tea. So the man too is trying to transition as well into that phase. But not everybody can handle things well and you see conflict. So different transitions. So do you think effective communication is needed for that smooth transition? And then the second one, which you do not really have to answer, but if you do, thank you. Which transition in your marriage relationship has been the most challenging so far, and how have you navigated through it, or how are you navigating through it? So you can start with anyone. Please feel free.
Okay. So let me start with the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, let me start with the second one. That was when I gave birth to my child.
Okay.
That
Is that your first
transition is
child?
yes, that
Okay.
transition is insane.
Mm.
Before then I used to no, I used to do a lot of things. I like sweeping, cooking, do all of that. But when I gave birth and I have this epidural injection on my spine,
Oh,
it's kind of like changed the whole scenario.
wow.
And
Sorry for
this
you.
this men are not they don't know how our minds work. Personally, I think
They're
you just need to
trying.
tell them.
Let's give it to them. They're
Yeah,
trying, but
yes, they don't know how our minds work. You still need to tell them. You can't just assume that, oh, he's supposed to know when he's supposed to help me. He's supposed to know that I'm going through this. No, you just have to communicate. You have to say it.
Hmm.
And this is where everybody have this narcissistic trait. You understand? If you're saying it and he's not doing it, you have to continue saying it. You have to continue nagging about it. Because at the end of the day, some of this nagging tends to yield a positive result. So
Hmm.
you have to constantly say it.
Yeah.
And for a man that that cares, there's no way you can constantly say something and it will not adjust. It will adjust automatically. And at that
It's
point,
funny.
I had to stop. The first thing I remember I stopped doing was I stopped sweeping the house. You understand? So that was like the first thing I stopped doing. Now imagine that a man will be the one sweeping the house.
Hmm.
But I have to communicate it. This back is paining me. I cannot bend down for too long. I cannot do some certain things anymore. I cannot carry things that are more than 5 kg. You have to communicate all this thing because this man don't even like carrying luggages. We women are the one that will carry one baby, take one child out, and carry like two bags because you are because you're taking out just one kid.
One.
You understand? So they don't understand this thing. They are not used to it. And some of them, the resources they have while growing up is what they are still working with. They haven't changed. And
Super
it's not really
normal.
easy to change somebody. You have to You can even personally, I don't believe you can change people, but you can always curb people's acts. You can always curb a particular act.
Yeah, true.
If you're really determined to do that, you will curb it. Even if you have a man that cheats,
I
cheats,
see you.
cheats, there's a way you can curb that. There's a way you can teamwork and reduce that. From reducing it, it will come to a stage whereby it will stop. So I had to communicate. I had to tell him this is how I feel. And just like what the other woman is saying, that some of us we tend to take advantage. Me, I took advantage. Me, I took advantage because see, before I got married, I used to stay with my guidance. So imagine I would have to sweep the wall out, do this, do that.
Yeah.
But at that point that I started having this, serious pain on my spine. In fact, even when I'm not having the pain, I'll say I'm having the pain so that I will not sweep.
Wow.
It's not really
More
easy, yeah,
confessional moment.
and it's working seriously. Though I used to have that pain, but not as much as when I first gave birth. You understand? But now I'm even enjoying it. I think we are now like delegating roles, and it's fun because at the end of the day, you cannot do it, or you'll be thinking in your head that you are cooking, you are sweeping, you are fetching water, you are doing the school runs. This man is supposed to help me. This man may not know that he needs to help you. Say it.
Tell me about it. Very
Say
funny.
it. Wake him up. Wake him up. Tell him that the food on fire is burning. So he needs to come and wear the uniform for the kids. If you have to
God, I
just
remember
push something forward. If you are not saying it, how will they know? Yeah, I say it though, and sometimes there are things that I say and I still take advantage of it.
Oh my God, sorry. I can't stop laughing. It's what you said. I've just brought this. I was cooking the rice. Okay, so I went up to do something. I got carried away. From upstairs, I was hearing this. I was perceiving the smell that the thing is burning, and everybody was down there. Men, I'm like, can you not? I ran down. Said, but this rice is burning. He said, oh. I said, but can you not smell it? Do
You
I?
can't smell it. You have to tell them.
Oh my goodness.
You have to tell them. You have to tell them that something is happening.
Oh my
You understand?
goodness.
You have to also scare them. You have to scare them. And there are some things that will happen in marriage. You will not be like, wait, am I stronger than my husband in terms of doing this? You get it? Because
Yeah.
you have to scare them a bit that okay, this is happening, this is it. Let them even see it from that your own point of view because they are not thinking the way we are thinking. There are times that we apply a lot of emotions to some certain things. They are not applying emotion to anything. They are logical about every of their calculation, every of their moves, every of their step. They are calculating it. How money go enter now? Waiting man they face. Which one be make man they wear uniform, make man they wear socks. You understand? But you still have
Come
to
and take
communicate.
compass. Say what's happen.
Yeah, you have to let them know that this thing is actually draining you as well. If you're not communicating it, I swear to God, they won't know. You may be viewing them as a bad person, but they won't.
They
They
say you
are
should be
not even
fair to
bothered that
them.
you are
They
viewing
say you should
them
be
that
fair
way.
to them, oh.
Yeah, but I'm fair. I think I'm fair because I communicate exactly how I feel. Even my husband is not somebody that talks too much, but now he even talks more than me. You understand? Because I talk a lot.
Wow.
I talk a lot. I want to talk and I want you to listen. You have to be attentive when I'm talking to you. You must not be distracted. Now I'm TikToking, he's watching football match. That's how it's meant to be. Let us be doing, this. If you're not communicating this thing, these people will not know.
I just
So
well, I see
that's
you.
just for that.
Thank you for the
But
help.
for the first question, remind me again.
The first question is do you think effective communication is needed to have a smooth transition in marriage? You practically answer that, really.
Yeah, effective communication is needed. But as much as communication, we talk about communication, we also need to
Yeah, good
try and
experiences.
learn people. We need to study people. When you study people, it will be very easy for you to work with them. Like I said, my own husband is not the type of person that likes to communicate or that likes to talk. You have to understand how this person likes to give love, and how this person likes to receive love. It can even be a smoother way of communicating to this person. It doesn't have to be verbal.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you understand how this person likes to give love and how this person likes to receive love, I bet you my husband is not somebody that likes people in his space as much as I like people in my space. You understand? He doesn't have like too much friends, but me, I want to have the whole of the world as my friends and all of that. So it's just for me to study. This is how this person likes to receive his love. And I work accordingly to that. Okay, this is how he likes to give out his love. Okay, so if he's doing this particular thing, let me appreciate it more than I will appreciate him buying me gifts, because giving out his own love is maybe by just, let's say, words of affirmation. Oh, you are doing proud, and that is one thing that it does. But that may not really be how I like to receive love.
I know.
But I need to appreciate that thing is doing more.
Adaptation we
Yes,
talked about.
yes,
Learning to
yes.
adapt.
I need to appreciate that particular one more than every other thing is doing. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's just for me. So sometimes it's not always about sit down, communicate, study yourself. I like people. I like to be in people's space. I want to enter your skin, even if I'm around you. I want to be in your faces. You understand? But he's not that kind of a person. So the one that he likes to do, I pay a lot of attention to it. And I make sure that I appreciate it, even if I'm not feeling it that much. But I make sure that that's one thing that I make him, that I appreciate and make him feel like a king.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Wow. Wow.
That was fun. Yes. All right. Well, we've said the late to 8:13. Good evening, 8:13. How
Well,
Rob,
8:13.
doing
Thank you.
good?
Let's
Yeah.
keep tapping, people,
Yeah.
please, please, please. And
Well,
help me with my goal. Help me with my goal for today. Maybe I'll start saying that.
yes.
Let me be writing it in my notes so that I won't.
What's your goal?
My goal is up there. If you see that rows, that's 5/65 something something there. If you click on it, anyone you can just help with, please. Will be appreciated. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's move down to Elder Debbie. Good evening.
Michael, I see you. Yeah, good evening, Debbie.
Good evening.
Oh, thank you, Kenneth. Thank you so much.
Elder Debbie, are you there? Or should we coming back to you? What do you
No,
want?
no, she's here. She's here.
Man of my sister. Stop coming for me. Stop coming for me. Oh.
I'm not coming for you. I'm just saying if you're there, or we come back for offering later. That's all.
I'm only here for offering, to be honest.
I know. That's your specialty, but we want to hear from you. So
Today's topic is for adult. Oh.
hey,
Are you your elder?
exactly. You qualify more than your elder.
You know one thing that I love about Debbie is
Hey,
she
she
will
have
always say,
come.
no. On a serious note, she will always say, me, I don't have experience. Me, I don't. But by the time she start talking, even you, self, that you're married, you will keep quiet. It's good that she's engaging and she's opening her mindset as well to this concept called marriage. And I want to beat my chest that when we come and do the Ashwebi one,
Yay.
because she has wealth of experience. That man is a lucky man, or a favored, if I'm not lucky, he's a favored and highly blessed man. That's what I can say.
Amen.
You know, so I'll leave it there. But you get me.
Why you turn off your mic? We're waiting for you to speak now.
There, she's not going anywhere. She knows.
Because I'm
I
trying to,
see you.
Are you blushing? Are you blushing over there?
Oh, she is.
because she's flattering me, so I'm like, okay.
No. That's why I'm serious. Like I'm serious, seriously. Yeah. If all unmarried people are engaging like that, I mean there will be less chaos in the marriages when they eventually come. Because this is like seed we're sowing and she's taking it on board and she's even giving as well. So now imagine when you go into that marriage, the fruit will germinate and I'm sure there'll be good fruits by the grace of God. So thank you.
Amen. Okay, what do you want me to say?
Something. Okay, let's go the general one. Do you think, if like we've talked about transitions in marriage I don't know if you were in and out, or I don't know if you heard the talk at all, or any other person's submissions. There's so many transitions we face in marriage. Transition from single life to married life, from non-parent to a parent, from having a job to not having a job. All sorts happen. So, but whatever the transition is, do you think effective communication is needed to have a smooth transition? And the reason why I brought that, when I finished the question, I said, yeah, I just want people to think deep about it whilst discussing it. Because sometimes, for some reason, some couple, they say Oju Lorowa, like they have their language even though they don't talk, if you get me. But there's some transitions that this I talk will not resolve or will not help. We have to open this mouth to talk. So whichever one is coming to mind, do you think effective communication is needed to have a smooth transition in marriage?
Well, I believe it is. But at the same time, I believe there are some transitions that does not necessarily need to be communicated, that we should take initiative of.
Okay.
From being both of us to addition with children. Once we have already agreed that we are ready to have children, I don't think every other part of the journey should need us to sit down again and discuss. I'm talking from my own perspective. I don't think we need to now be sitting down and negotiating. We already agreed to have children. You know that if I'm the woman, my body will change. Things will change. I don't even know what it would look like. And for you, things will change as well,
With a big nose.
which means the day my leg cannot carry me, you should be ready for me to wear your t-shirt when my clothes is not entering anymore, or something like that. But maybe they don't know. We might discuss it. That's why I said we discuss it before we embark on that journey. So effective communication is beautiful, like Elder Kenneth said, from the beginning. And like I said, there's some transition that even you are, it might be a personal one. Maybe your spouse is going through it. They might not even know. It just came, or even it's both of you. You didn't plan it or something like that. It just came. I believe once you've gotten to a stage where you understand each other, you can live through it. You can be adjusting, communicating in between. Okay, how do we go about this one and all that. Yeah. That is why from the beginning I will say it for my single people: when you go on dates, don't just go with the Brazilian and the makeup. Don't just go and eat and drink. Discuss. Discuss with open mind. That way, don't sign a contract that at the end of the day will be asking you what is the terms and condition of your contract. That at the end of the day, it won't be, even if there will be misunderstanding, challenges and something, it won't be like because we don't know what we are doing. It's just that we are facing the situation, not us fighting against each other. So for me, I believe, yeah, effective communication helps a lot in any form of change or transition in marriage.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And just
Oh no,
to just
Sorry, my lady, Mr. Leslie, it's not only they need to see the size of epidural needle. You see now, if you go on thing now, they are buying this machine, this labor kind of machine, and place it on their husband.
the husband to feel the
You
pain that
feel
women go through.
you want. It doesn't mean they will really understand it's real time, but at least they will have an idea of what the pain is
Level of
like.
pain. Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
that's going
So
to go and try the admissions. We're putting you men to the challenge.
do you understand? That way they will have an idea of what the pain is like. Even they might that does not mean is that's the height of it, but at least they will have an idea what the pain. If don't let them try the labor one, let them go and try the menstrual one.
Oh.
Yeah, they will have that way they will have an idea what it is before they see epidural needle. That one is too long. Let them try. Let them start with that one.
Oh, you see, Leslie, he said he saw
Oh,
the
he has
needle, he
seen
nearly
it.
collapsed.
Okay.
Well,
So it's
that's transition for you too, Leslie. You saw that.
no. To be honest, some. I think for some couple, I think maybe after childbirth, some of them need to go back to therapists because it depends. Labor, labor for women differs. Labor differs, pregnancy differs for some women. Some women, their husband don't have peace from the day they conceive to the last day. It's not because they don't want him to have peace. They don't have the peace.
I'm telling you. And
Their
you don't
body is
know what
fighting them. Their
pregnancy is
health
going
is
to do what. I can tell you the
yes.
4 pregnancies I carried. None was the
I
same.
I know of a couple that the man after the first child he said no more. In fact, it's the woman that is begging him. He said no, never. Those pain you went through, I can't even stand it. You were traumatized. I was traumatized because what? No, 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 no. Look at the child self. Look, that kind of thing. Even the child is playing. He didn't even know what we went through. So you don't worry. So I think if men understand, maybe they will be able to be more
More
tender
empathetic.
or
Yeah.
more empathetic in a way, especially our own men.
Our
Our own.
African men, you mean?
You see, it's you that said everybody. Oh, Lady Fumi, responsible. I'm not the one that said it. I'm just saying.
I said it. There you go.
So I think because see, I believe once it comes to starting to have children in marriage, once we discuss that, okay, we are ready to have children. As I'm reading the book, you are reading the book. But that way you understand, I understand. We both know the day I did not get up the bed, you already know that okay, it's not me that don't want to get up. Oh, it's the way my body is responding. So that's my own.
Thank
Okay,
you.
you were going to ask me something.
Yeah, I was going to say that I know we're talking about marriage and all today, but even as individuals, we go through transitions in life so that we don't leave it out of that conversation. Even as a single person, what is that transition that you've gone through that is most challenging, and how did you navigate it? Because there are people who are not married that are there. So maybe in a way you kind of represent them in this forum today at least. So you can share if you want, or
I
otherwise.
guess that depend. I guess that depend on on you as individual. I've said it
Healer
several times.
continue. You.
I'm somebody that is still in the storm. Either the storm that I went to look for by myself, or the one that came, or the one that life threw at me. I am calm because I've realized that once you fight through it, you might come out with damage. So I stay still, look for a way out. Does it change me? Yes. Does that growth affect some of my friendship? Yes, I lost friends and all that. But at the same time, life goes on. I think you just have to be ready for the change, for the change anytime. If it's career, you have to grow your career anyways. Either way. I can't be making 5,000 last year and I want to be making 5,000 this year. No, I want more. I love money. I love money. I
You know
love
it.
money.
You know,
Money
that's why
inspires
I
me.
put you in charge of our offering.
Money inspires me. It's true. So then if you need me to do anything you need me to do, as long as at the end of the day the goal is that I will have more money. It's okay. I can go through it. But I think once you are transiting, make sure you know that journey. What is the purpose of that journey? Why are you on that journey? What is the end goal? Build yourself towards even the end goal. That way, when you get to that goal, you won't lose yourself. You won't lose the goal at the end of the day because you might get it and still lose it if you are not well prepared. I always say, no, it's not me. I that's why I always say something that we all pray that God shine a light upon me. But in between, under that light, if you are not cleaning up your mess, Once the light shines on your positive and your negativity. It brings out everything. So just prepare your mind. Prepare. I always try to kind of carry everybody around me along. That way, they know what, if the day I don't want to talk to you, you know that it's not me that don't want to talk to you, it's the situation. Same as my friends. If any of us is going through any kind of growth, we are transiting into maybe something. If once we don't see you, or you are just behaving anyhow, we know that okay, it's not you, it's the situation. We understand you. If you need the water, we give you water. If we Do you understand, we support each other how as we can. Why, even if it's not marriage, communicate. If you have people around you, communicate with them. Let them know it's not, you are not just ignoring them. It's life. Or be, if you know that you might not be able to communicate during the process, once before you start, let them know, I'm about to start, I'm about to, okay, I'm trying to go for, maybe let's say career. I want to expand in my career. I will be going through some courses and everything. I might not, let them prepare their mind. That way it won't come to them as what's it called, how do I put it, as just a fast change or just like that. They will be able to have prepared their mind, and the one that will stay regardless. Though it can be challenging regardless, but still, at least you know that you still have people around you that they are prepared, they are ready for the anybody you that you want to become, they are ready for it. And I believe even in marriage it should be that way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are you still there, woman of purpose?
I'm there. I'm here.
A13, can I borrow your box, please? Please, please, please. Can I borrow your box, please?
Borrow mine. You can borrow mine.
Oh, okay. As well, if you don't mind, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Let's see.
Aye, okay. Thank you for that, Elder Debbie. Let's go down to IJ's World. Good evening, sis. Are you there?
Yeah, good evening. I'm here.
How you doing?
I'm doing lovely. How are you doing?
Yeah, okay, we're good here.
Can you
Um,
help? Can you hear me
yes,
today?
we
Okay,
can.
good.
Yeah.
I did. Thank you so much for stopping by again. I really appreciate it. I know the time difference, but thank you so much.
It's always a pleasure to stop in. So, I'm sorry for making you state the topic question. I know it's about transitions, but which way are we going?
Okay, so maybe honestly you don't have to answer, but this is it. Today on Insta we'll talk about marriage talks. So I don't know if you're married, because that's the question really.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think effective communication is needed to have a smooth transition in marriage, whatever that transition is? And then the second one, we go a bit personal, really, but you don't have to answer, like I said, whatever the perspective you want to bring is fine. Which transition in your marriage relationship has been the most challenging so far, and how did you navigate through it, or how are you navigating through it? You can answer either or none, or just share your views. Transitions in marriage, is it a good thing? Do people handle it well? If not handled well, what can it cost the marriage? So it depends on you. But thank you so much for joining in.
Yeah, I don't mind sharing. So I can speak to it.
Yeah.
I'm currently married, but we're separated at the time at this moment. So I can definitely speak to that. But anyways, the most challenging time, honestly, was I had twins, so just adjusting to the twins. There was a lot of pressure to get married, and we were not financially ready. I mean, there was a lot of pressure to get pregnant when we were not financially ready, and it was from his side. And no matter how I educated, it was a big issue, and he would, go to my family to kind of advocate for himself. And then I did it, and then I took in and I had twins. So my whole pregnancy, I was. I mean, they're a blessing now, but the whole pregnancy, I was depressed. There was COVID. I was thinking about, if I'm not working, how will we sustain? But thankfully, my mom helped. Then we got on our feet. Thank God. Um, we made it past that. Um, whenever it comes to like money, it's never been an issue. Money talk's never been an issue. We don't be, communicating about money has never been a big issue for us. I found out, but when I went through my own personal transition, like dealing with a lot of emotional, mental health things like depression, anxiety from growing up, I don't, it's nothing wrong to say that. And then the pressure of being a mom and leaving my family home as a married woman. So I'm a mother, I'm a married woman, I'm paying bills on my own, I'm in charge of all these things. So I kind of spiraled, you know and he wasn't equipped. He was like, "Why is she acting erratic? Who are you?" And I think that was the most challenging part, because I changed. I honestly changed. I grew up. You know, I went into marriage not understanding the responsibility. I was very selfish in my reason for agreeing to get married. So I changed, and I placed blame on the person. I placed blame on him. And once I realized my issues, my things, is I just wanted to be understood, and he can't understand me. Like, and I don't expect a certain type of response from him, but I would. He would say, "What do you want?" I said, "I just want you to let me know that you're listening and pause, not to talk." And it's still an issue because that's just his character, like the young lady said that her husband doesn't talk, so she has to give him his space. He watches football, yeah, but when you need that type of reassurance, or yeah, reassurance, I need that reassurance because I've had issues with my own parents, so I need to know that I'm being heard. And it's I know that this page we like, you always lead with Christianity and the Bible, so I know that's something that I struggle with, you know, and it's hard to push back past it when I feel like marriage is supposed to be like a shared experience, both of us getting closer to God, and I feel like we have to really understand each other. So it's hard to it was hard to transition through me growing and feeling like I'm not being heard. And yeah, that's a really currently ongoing challenge, the transition.
Wow. Thank you, I. So I don't know what your take. So effective communication. I mean, based on what you've shared, and congratulations on the twins. I know they're a bit older now, but I mean, still, I say that effective communication. Do you think is really needed? Because now, based on what you've said, is one thing to want to communicate effectively, is another thing for the spouse to be on the same page with you. Because otherwise, it will seem like you're speaking two different languages, and of
Yeah,
course, it'll bring about conflict. So, what's your take about
I think
effective?
I don't even know how to, because I think this is a constant thing that I reflect on constantly, because you have that guilt of, if you leave, did I do everything I'm supposed to do? Did I try my best? But definitely, ideally, theoretically, if we read all the books, effective communication is is paramount. It's important, to paraphrase. Did you hear what I said? Did you understand what I said? Is this what you're saying? Or, but it's very important. But there's also sometimes when when you actually take your time and get to know the person before you get married, that I feel like there's a time when the Bible says two become one. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I can go back to before when we were engaged. We would go out. Doesn't have to ask me for anything. I already know what to do. Like, we were in sync. Then we didn't talk much. Didn't have to. Like, everything would happen. Oh,
Understood
this
each
is
other and you were on
yeah,
the same page.
exactly. Nothing. Nobody had to talk in long. We didn't have to explain in depth to each other. It was like, hey, this is happening, so I'm gonna need this. Okay, do you need this? Okay, good. It was very easy. So yeah, I think that it's a combination of the two, depending on the novelty of it. If it's brand new to you, yeah, because I mean, the kids, I'm naturally a nurturer. I've taken care of kids my whole life before way before I ever thought about getting pregnant or having children. So that kind of came natural to me, but adjusting to the role of a mother and a wife, and losing like my social life, having to change what I normally enjoy. So, but yeah, definitely. I think it's a combination of the two.
Okay. Thank you. It's amazing how, yeah, I think I was sharing. I said, "Ah, when I think about my courtship days, oh my God, it was like heaven on earth." So what changed? Because sometimes it's new. You've never been married before. You've never carried a pregnancy before. The man has never been a father before. So everybody's transitioning into that space. And if you don't talk about how you're going to handle it, it will bring issues. It will bring issues because expectations could be different, and the reality is posing something different, and you just find out that what's happening is like you're losing who you are. This was not what you signed up for. It's too soon. A whole lot of transition, and the effect of it, it's on the couple. And personally, effective communication, that's why I just input communication. It has to be effective. You don't have to even say long sermons. It could just be a sentence, and bam, it's so effective that your spouse speaks it and both of you run with it. So God will continue to help us really, but we have to talk about these things. What transitioning process or phase are you going through? Is it bringing the best in you? Are you growing in it? Or is it making you fight your spouse some more? It's like they don't understand what you're going through in this transition, both of you are going through. So these are things we need to reflect on if we still want to enjoy this marriage relationship, because otherwise things do happen. It can bring about separation. It can actually bring about divorce. And you'll be like, when you were saying I do, you didn't plan to, not do after 5 years or after 6 years. But we know life happens. So let's talk about these things before it would take hold of our marriages. And God helping us, giving us wisdom, really. So thank you so much, IJ Ward, for your contribution. Oh, she's dropped again. Let me bring back Susan. I was gonna say somebody was in that box before. Let me see. Please send an invite. I still have one more box open so that we can share as many experiences as possible. Thank you so much, Susan. I'm gonna wait for her to come in. Thank you so much, Susan. I'm gonna wait for her to come in. Good evening, sis. Oh, I hope she's there.
Good evening. My network is fluctuating, so I'm struggling,
Okay,
and I can't hear very well.
but we can hear you. Can you hear us? It's kind of cutting, but I don't see any red bar in your box, so I don't know. Susan, can you hear me? Mila for Christ, I see you there. I'm trying to get you up or something.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
That's better now, yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome. Yeah. I can hear a bit of tiredness in your voice as well, but we thank God for strength. God will continue to strengthen us. Amen. Admission 66. Thank you so much for the word of encouragement. So, Susan, if you're there, we want to hear from you. We're talking about a transition in marriage. Can you hear me? I need you to unmute so that I know you can hear me. Please. I think it's still the network issue. Okay. It's okay. Can you hear me, Susan? You're muted. Woman of purpose, but you guys can hear me because sometimes maybe it's even my own network.
I can hear
We
you.
all can hear you clearly.
Okay.
Just,
All right. I just want to be sure that it's not from my end, really.
quiet when she comes on.
Distinctively.
It might be the network.
Is she talking? Is she talking?
No.
Okay, no. Okay. I tried to bring one of. Okay, I think the other person. Oh, I see. Yeah, you can speak so that I won't keep interrupting you, except you want me to. Yeah, it's the network. Yeah, we're talking about transition in marriage. Susan, I don't know how much of the contributions you've heard, or if at all you heard the talk. But if you can't, maybe you can just type in the chat and I'll try to read it out so that at least we'll still get something off of you. Thank you so much for joining. I know this network sometimes they're not transitioning well for us to do our live proper, but it's all good. Thank you so much. Let me see. I think there was somebody in that box. Mila for Christ, I see you. I hope you're good. Maybe he can't speak where he is because I've sent an invite. It's not coming through. So, well, so far so good because we'll be rounding off, soon. We've talked about this in depth. Your network is bad as well. Oh, okay. You can type in there. We'll try to read it out. What's your take about transition in marriage? Do you think there's any danger when couples don't handle it well? Or do you think that transition in marriage is actually meant to make couples grow stronger together and grow in love, grow in understanding, and all of this? What is your take? Please, you can type in there. I'll try to read, or woman of always will catch what he's typing because sometimes they go so fast. And
I think Susan says I'm not just joining in because I finished from work late. Yeah. Susan just typed that.
okay, I missed that. See, okay, so it's all right. It's all right. I don't know. Anyone sit in the box? Maybe one or two things has come to mind whilst others were speaking. Please feel free to share. Otherwise, we'll have an early night tonight.
I have one.
Yeah, I
Let's
was
round
gonna
up
say
with
I
the
was
one
gonna
I
come
told
back
you.
to you. I was saying I remember you said you were gonna share something. Admission. So
Well,
Yeah.
go
I
on.
remember
before I forget,
as you were saying it came to
Leslie,
mind.
Leslie will
Just
come
as
to you.
you were talking.
Next Thursday, there won't be insight. I'm sure some of you saw on my page, I lost my uncle last month. So we're putting him to rest next week. So it's Thursday and Saturday. So Thursday, there's no how I'm gonna be able to do that because it's in the evening. So I'm gonna miss you all, but I'm just telling you ahead. We'll be here on Monday by the grace of God. But on Thursday, there won't be insight, just so we're aware. And please, I covet your prayer for my family at this time. And thank you all so much to those who saw that and, put some comments there. So next Thursday, Insight will be off, but we'll be on here on Monday prior to the Thursday, do our individual talks. Thank you so much, Kenneth. So just to put that out there. I'll still try and do one or two flyer or whatever and put up just to remind us. Thank you all so much for all your support. I really appreciate every single one of you. I can't stop saying that. So Leslie, will come to you and hear your story. There was something you wanted to share. I know.
It was a mission that was gonna talk first, actually.
Cool. Admissions. Okay.
Is admission I want to hear? Is the story we're all waiting for?
Exactly.
Yay.
Yeah. It was more of the ambition thing. You were saying things that spring to mind as you were talking.
Okay.
And something sprang to mind. And I remember Leslie too
Definitely.
mentioned something about a misbehavior. And I said, I lived through a story very close to me as I was growing. It was more of an ambition thing.
Okay.
We had these two couple, they were very lovely, wonderful. People were looking forward to, we look at them and say, wow, how I wish when I'm married, this side is going to run and all that. And they were quite successful too. And
Mm.
all of a sudden, Baba got appointed to be an ambassador for the country to go and serve Nigeria somewhere.
Wow.
And the next thing he told Mama, would you come with me? Mama said, ah, no, 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 I would rather face. She was a teacher and had a nursery school. She said, no, I would rather stay behind. So Baba left for that assignment.
Mm.
And all of us, so the stories were coming in. They are transiting, isn't it? Back to, they
Yeah.
are transiting. Stories started coming in that Baba is having a younger girl there in the country where he was serving. The story flew back home. And before you know it, it became very, very true.
Wow.
For Mama not to go with Baba to go and serve the country, there's another lady. There are smart ones around, so he picked the old man and they started dating each other. Before you know it, stories were told that they had actually married. And this, and you're talking of
Wow.
people who have kids, grown up kids. I mean, yeah, about three boys and two girls. We're all in the unit then and all that. Lovely, wonderful family that you pray to. The story just changed all of a sudden. Mama took ill, became depressed. They did everything. Mama was be talking to herself. All the wealth and everything now means nothing to them. Things became so deplorable.
Wow.
And before you know it, something also happened again that I don't. It's not too much of a good story at all. The children became antagonistic to Mama's interest. I don't know what happened. The new lady comes back home and shower them with blessings in quotes. Give them all that. In fact, I remember one of them even got a new car.
Thank you.
So before you know it, Mama was just being jettisoned. They were even passing comments to her. Some things like, can you imagine your own children tell you you're sick? They tell their mom. And that even gets her much, much more depressed. And I look at it one day, I was just thinking, you're running some stories in your that you have experienced in life. I'm like, what actually happened? All because of that transition with an ambition. Everybody will look forward to such an appointment to go and serve the country.
Mm.
And Mama, for a good reason, said, I will come with you. I'll stay and rather take care because she was a very, committed to her job or whatever. And before you know it, he got married to a younger girl. They come home there. She sees the lady because they were not even hiding anything at some point. Now her children are against her too. Mama left this world very, very sad. So
Oh.
I'm like, what? That's the story that I had in mind as we were talking.
Wow.
Transition can be a very, 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 it can end up very bad if things are not handled very well. And
Mm.
the excuse Baba gave everybody at that time, because we had men of substance who came around. Why would you do this to this woman who has been with you all your life? You were down there, you did that. He went, oh, she decided not to go with me to go and serve. And I can't, some silly languages came in. Yeah, I had to look for somebody to warm my bed. And yeah, it wasn't very, very, very
Wow.
nice in explaining himself. That's the
Mm.
story I picked up.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing. I mean, just like you said, admissions is not a good one, but this is somebody's reality or some people's reality. This is one you have told us. Some people are actually going through it now. So you can imagine when transitions are not handled properly. Honestly, it could be deadly. It could be deadly. People have mental health issues because of that. And I mean, this is a person that's supposed to, they're supposed to get each other's back, even if one has transitioned, maybe relocated, and the other is not able to. Is that a good reason, just like Kenneth, so I mean admission story, is that a good reason, to bring another transition to that family dynamic? Like there's not enough issue already. But these are things that are happening. We may not hear them every single day, but these things are happening. Who is nurturing who? That's why I said a broken marriage leads to a broken family, leads to a broken community, a broken society, and a broken world. So if we cannot help the world, let's go back to the basics. Marriage, where it all begins. If marriages can get it right, the family will get it right. The community will get it right. The society will get it right. And the world just might get it right as well. So it's important we talk about these things. See, there's some transitions when husband and wife they don't see eye to eye about it. It's better you pause. Pause. Because tendency is you will make the wrong decision when you're not on the same page with facing that transition. Pause. Talk and talk some more. And what else can you do? Talk some more until you both are on the page. For example, I don't know if it will work or not, but we have to think positively. Oh, I'm going on this promotion or this work journey. My wife at this moment, she can't see the need why to come with me, or she doesn't see whatever to come with me. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, talk to her whilst I'm away. Let her see reason, because sometimes some transitions will come that it may seem one-sided, like, oh, so should she lose her life because of his promotion or something? The more reason you have to talk. You really need to talk and weigh your life where you are at. What is priority right now? What is most important, the new or the old or what we're used to? These are things couples should talk about. And a man as the head of the home should have more wisdom, so to say. Well, I don't know. God sometimes will give the woman more wisdom. I'm going for 3 months. Let me go and see if I can try live by myself, because you know yourself. You know that come what may, you want your bed to be warmed. That's why you really need to give it deep talk, deep reasoning together, reflect together. Can you stand 6 months without your bed being warm? These are questions you need to ask yourself. And rather than go and bring a new thing all together and then scatter your home, travel back. There's something called weekends. There's something called holiday. Come back and warm your bed and then go back. Because sometimes we want to eat our cake and have it. But we all know that leads to trouble, more conflict. It's bad enough the marriage is going through life's challenges, and now you feel bringing another challenge is a solution. We heard how it ended, to the point that these children now are beginning to even resent their mother or, say things. We need to be careful. No matter how many children you have, whether 4, whether 10 or whatever, what are you passing on to them? How are you showing them to dealing with such transition? Because they will see how you're doing things. Even if you're telling them, no, sit here, don't do this. They are seeing what you're doing and it's sinking into their spirit, man, their soul, their body. When they grow up, they probably do worse. So if you teach them the good way, they will do better. If you teach them the evil or the bad way, they will even do worse. So let's be considerate. Marriage, husband and wife, is not just about husband and wife. Generations you're going to bring into this world will be affected. And it's on you, it's on your husband, it's on the couple. These children were not there when you were signing that certificate. So be mindful, talk about things. If you're not a talking type, a time will come in your life. You will transition into talking, because otherwise things will not move the right way. It will be a better place for all of us, particularly for the coming generation. I'm telling you, that's why you have this generation ahead of us. They don't want marriage. It's like nothing is encouraging them to go into marriage. Or some will say, you know what, the moment it gets tough, like, I'm going, because that's what they saw their parents do. They didn't have to fight for anything. They didn't see them talk about things. They didn't see any mediator coming into their homes and all, because we don't want shame, or we can handle our business and all. Who says? Why should we suffer in silence? Why should we suffer in silence when we can actually get help from a third party? my prayer is that God will help us, whatever the transition we're facing, whether to parenthood, job loss, job promotion, because whether the transition is good or not, sometimes we'll handle it in a very bad way. Somebody transition was earning 3,000 before, now you're earning, let's say 6,000, and then pride comes. You've transitioned into that place of maybe wealth or whatever you want to call it, and now husband cannot talk to you, wife cannot talk to you, even the children. It's like, don't they know my level now or something like that? That transition is not bringing the best out of that person, and it's a good transition by the ways. So you can imagine, it's my Bible says my people perish because they lack knowledge. Gain knowledge, get understanding. This marriage, as much as it lies with us, you and your husband, it has to work. And most ways, if you don't talk, assumptions, oh, you're assuming this person would do this or this person would grow through this, and you're not talking. Assumptions mostly are negative. I don't know if I'm saying your hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to say something.
Please.
Um, so I know that you said that the marriage is the foundation of like the community. Is that what you said earlier?
Say what?
I believe you said that marriage is the foundation to like community or the what did you say?
So I said, if a marriage breaks, a
Hmm.
family breaks, the community breaks, the society breaks, the world breaks.
Okay, and then I don't want to assume anybody's like demographic or where they are in the world, but I can only speak to what I have observed
Okay.
within the society that God has placed me into.
Okay.
And biblically, I cannot really refer to the Bible, so I apologize. I'm more like I kind of like refer to like sociology and psychology a little bit. I'm not a professional, just a little bit.
All right. It's okay.
So just like you have your ecosystem, you have your community, right? Your community fosters that culture and how things are done. And if the community isn't teaching you that biblical way, like there's many children, they go to school, but some children are not reading it. If somebody they don't it's not getting into their heads if maybe the way they're being taught, or God knows, they need a different technique. So there's some people I feel like we can be in a community, we see what goes around, we're just mimicking what other people do, but we don't understand the why. This is why you have to look for a good person. You rely that your community wants the best for you, so then you go with what they want. You don't have an identity because you know that I have to take care of myself. I have to take care of this. This is what I'm supposed to do because they said that this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be a mother. I'm supposed to be a wife. You are trained. You have to clean. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to be obedient. They'll talk about Proverbs 31. You can read Proverbs 31 all you want, but don't if you can't apply it, or if you don't have a leader or a mentor to show you the way, it's difficult for some people. And I feel like my whole point, sorry for
All right.
going left, my whole point is saying that I feel like we have to kind of go back to the community, especially like my family is from Nigeria and they've immigrated here and to America. And in America, it's everybody, you live on your own, and then we meet each other at like gatherings. Then randomly one uncle will come to your nephew or your son and say, hey, make sure you go to school. They won't see that uncle till next year. You know what I mean? There's no community input. But in the house, don't put me to shame. You are told in that house, don't put me to shame. And I was born in America, but I try to emulate what my mom told me, but with little direction, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be the Ada that I see in the movies, like that first daughter, that
First daughter.
the one that has everything going on. I wanted to be that. I wanted to be good. Ideally, that fantasy. I want to be that. But then if you don't have the instructions, if you don't have the ingredients, if you don't have it, like I think the last time I came on here, if you don't have it, it's very difficult to kind of give that in a marriage, and to say that we can add on when you are given pieces in your own family, in your own community, is harder. So like sometimes I feel like we have to go back to the community and strengthen those bonds, especially as we all migrate and travel. But I definitely understand what you mean about a marriage. I just also want to. I just sometimes I feel like community, society has to. We need to work on and start helping each other again, because everyone's fearful. I understand because of violence, but
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. This is how I'm going to respond to that. First off, in an ideal world, yeah, mom and dad, father, mother, husband and wife are supposed to get themselves or their whatever together. And the moment they decide to start raising children, it's on them to bring up these children the best way. You know, there's a prayer we pray in Africa that our children will be greater than us. But look at us. If we are 20% great, our children should be 100% great. That's the kind of prayer we'll pray. But how would they be 100% great when our 20% we're even giving them 10%? I don't know if my analogy is making sense. So the thing now is, for me as an example, maybe I should go home with this. I've shared here on this platform, looking at my parents' marriage, I was scared of going into marriage. I said, if this is what marriage is about, nah, I don't want it. I was so scared. I said I was going to focus on my career. At least it's my thing. I'll do my thing, build myself, da, da, da. But along the way, I met Jesus. And this is why I say I will share my experience. My parents' kind of Jesus, either did not help. Because whilst I was there, imagine contemplating suicide because of how life was unbearable. Am I supposed to be contemplating suicide as a child with my parents? No, but that is, and if you trace back, I had to trace back to their own childhood. Oh my God, it's even worse. It's even worse. So it's what is passed down. You know, if they pass down good, it becomes better when it goes down, so to say. If they pass down not too good, it's going to be worse, passing on to the next generation. So I took it upon myself when I realized that, okay, God has marriage for me. Due to so many things I can't go into, I said, okay, I dared God even. Was I afraid of marriage? Yes. Why was I afraid? I don't think I have what it takes to sustain a marriage, because all I've known with these people is not good. I don't even want to go into marriage. But I had to change my mindset. I've seen the not good. It's now on me. I reflected, I talked about it, I prayed about it, that okay, I'm gonna go into marriage. Maybe shame onto my parents. I don't know. You know, these things I'm passionate about. Maybe I have to, God, you have to help me make this thing work. Is it gonna be bed of roses? Of course not. So what do? I listen to few people around me in the society that's got good marriage. When they're talking about, oh, the things you go through in marriage, some you have to compromise. That I say compromise, 'cause I don't want, I started hearing things about marriage in the society, this society you're talking about. So it depends on which society you have even placed yourself in your society. Is it the society that helps build when it comes to marriage, or the society that tells you, look, when the tough gets going, please run, come on, go away, da da da, don't fight and don't leave? What community have you found yourself that has helped you in any way at all? Because I said I made up my mind. I had to do courses, I had to read books. Did I want to read them? Of course not. I want to go into it, and it cannot fail. God, as much as it lies with me, no failure will come from my part. I have my shortcomings, I have my moments when I fall, I have moments I've not handled transitions well, but I am focused because I want a very, very better marriage than what has been passed on to me. And I want to pass even a better one to my children. It's on us. You bring these children into the world, it's on parents. Before they go to school and be taught of whatever, teach them at home the right things, the right way. But if you don't have it as a parent, what will you teach them? So you can see that foundation to anything really matters. It does. If the foundation is faulty, you say, what can the righteous do? I have my struggles. Despite the fact that I'm focused, this is what I want in a marriage and all. Oh, life happens. But I'm focused. If I say, oh, I'm going through this transition, I'm not handling it, let me quickly run to mommy and ask this, I'll be wasting my time, because even mommy didn't transition well. Daddy didn't transition well. But it's not on me. God, I don't know how to transition. Partner, husband, I don't know. We don't know how to transition. Let's cry to God. Can we read books? Can we watch even movies that would help us to be better? Because 2 people having 5 children, those 5 will end up growing up. Let's assume all of them will get married. And it's what we've put in them since childhood days that they're going to take into that marriage. If you show them how to love, they will know how to love in that marriage. If you show them how to transition well, they will know how to transition well in that marriage, because you've shown them. If you show them how to be empathetic, how to be concerned, but because they'll say men don't cry. I don't know why I'm even going here. Men don't cry. They don't show emotion. And you teach your children, don't cry. But he's hurting. He's human. Let him find a corner space and cry. Let him let the thing out instead of bottling it up. And then men will grow up. You have to be strong. That's what we're passing on, and it is wrong. Who then is going to make the right of those wrongs? It's on you. It's on me. We want a better world. How are we also contributing to making sure we have a better world in our own small little world? These things, I know we cannot exhaust it all here, but all I'm saying is, whether you're of faith or not of faith, whether you're scared about marriage or not scared about marriage, the moment you enter into it, it is not for lily-livered people. I always say that here. It takes a lot that some people don't have. That's why you have to be interested. You have to consciously be aware. Talk with your partner. What are they saying? Don't look at it that your partner is attacking you. They are saying these things because they feel it. You don't feel it. They are the one feeling it. So don't fight them for feeling this. It may not make sense to you, but the fact that they're voicing it out, you sit down, be objective to what they're saying, and be open and honest and say, okay, this is how you feel. I don't understand how you feel like that in this relationship. How did you get here, or how did we get here? Did I contribute to you being in this space, in this phase you want to transition into? Am I helping? These are things we need to talk about. Sometimes you will cry on each other as husband and wife because what? You want to get it right. Sometimes you will disagree, like blatantly, no, I don't want this, I can't do this. And your spouse will look at, you're kidding, you're going to, things like that will happen. But at the end of the day, you want peace in that home, you want love to still be there, we would have to still sit and address that issue. No matter how long it takes, as long as we're both ready to talk about it, fight about it, argue about it, but we would agree at some point. Or the most, we'll reach a compromise. But not so many people are willing to compromise. It takes 2 to tango. When one is ready, the other is not ready. They will not go through that transition as smoothly as possible. These things are reality. And that's why I say, let us talk about it here. Some people have not even paid attention to it. Now go back and reflect. All those transitions you and your husband went through, how did you now be consciously aware of what you did or how you overcame it? Because other transitions are still gonna come. And if you don't learn from past ones, if you don't learn the key strategic things you did, it will be difficult facing other transitions as well. I don't know if this has helped you, IJ, but we have to do better. We must do better. Even if you don't have it, there are avenues out there, knowledge is out there, and they say knowledge is power. I want to learn how to have a successful marriage, and thank God you're here on Insight. This is one of the things we talk about here. how to enjoy our marriages, how to do things better. Sometimes you have to unlearn what you know and relearn the right way. But are we willing to put in the time, the effort, the energy, so that we can at least enjoy our own marriage? We cannot leave our parents' marriage in ours. It won't work. Most times it doesn't work. My dad used to treat my mom this way. You're treating me this way. You're fighting them. But they don't have it. They were not your father. Where they grew up, fathers did that. And that's what they're doing. But when you don't sit and talk about it, no, this is a no. Husbands don't do this. Wives don't do this. Say, really? But my parents, your parents did. You check. Was your mom happy? Was your dad happy? And then they start thinking. So it is a serious business, this marriage, and it takes a lot from us sometimes. But we have to be ready and be willing to be sacrificial, to be tolerant, to be understanding, even when you don't understand, to be loving, to be empathetic, to be sympathetic, and know that this person you're just fighting them, they don't have what you're talking about. So tell them, my dear, when I'm in this state, cuddle me. They will never have thought to do that. But you don't even say to them, just cuddle me, that's all I need. And you'll be amazed that the moment you're in that state, they come and cuddle you. That's the end. You've transitioned into knowing each other better based on that simple act. But how will they know if you don't say it? And then you're in that space, they just went and brought a cup of tea. You almost poured the tea on them. Is that what I want? In your head, you're thinking you want a hug. But just say it. Because they won't know. They're doing the best they know, but it's not what you want or what you need. So God will help us, really. God will help us. We can go all night talking. But thank you so much. I don't know if anybody wants to say something before.
I'll say something. I'll say something before I jump and deal with picking number two. I just remember I shine about. He always said something about our dated syllabus, and it's true. I think a lot of us are working on our dated syllabus regarding marriage. Yeah. What I would say to that is, because I love what our mission said, and the story he shared is very similar to my dad's situation. It was almost a similar thing where my dad he was living in Russia at the time. He was a diplomat, funny enough, and for some reason my mom it was a difficult period, and he was like, okay, let her go to Nigeria. And this was us now going back for the first time since we were children to go and stay in Nigeria, and he would stay in Russia. So he stayed, and he stayed a little bit longer than we expected. And something went really, really, really wrong with the flight plan. And he was doing something with the Nigerian government at the time, a very, very top secret thing. Basically, they were trying to now do this thing where they were Nigerian students who were in university, they would be able to go to Russia to study, and they were doing all the processing at the time. This was in the 80s, so this was the thing they were doing, and he had a lot of the documentation and files. And the airline he was trying to do it with to take the documents, they lost everything. Long story short, he got a massive payout. So when he came back to Nigeria, everything changed. And I don't think my mom was ready for for the person that came back, the person she left, and the person that she saw. It was a different person. He just went into overkill, and he decided to go back to see his friends that he had outgrown them, but there were certain habits that he had kept, and he knew that these guys, they're going to fulfill these habits. And his relationships with his friends, and to today we were like, why would you go back to these guys? You have outgrown them. They're not even in the same world with you anymore. And even if you wanted to maintain, you should have come as an influence for better, not now. But if you have some certain things you want to do with it. And they introduced him to this woman, and that was the beginning of the end. And the house he bought is like, no, your mom's not staying here with me. And then I just left her with, just told her, you can move, I don't want to see you anymore. Took us with him, which was he was going to do because of his job. and that was the beginning. But the fracture didn't stay with my mom. It affected every one of us.
Evening.
Every till today, like we are all grown. Like
Thank
one
you.
of my almost 50, and to today, the so it's like one side took my mom's side, or one side took my dad's side, and depending on what anybody's feeling, will determine who they are going to back. And yeah, that divide was catastrophic, just on that single event. That when that opportunity came, his character was not ready to meet what change that thing brought to his life. And my mom was ill-equipped to handle this person. So that's what I was saying, that I wish I wish they would, what they hear about a transition. I think if my dad had listened to that, he would have been, okay, maybe I should change my behavior, maybe I should consider what I'm going to do before this happens. But yeah, and for me, before I got married, and this is why I think all of us have an opportunity to change. We don't have to become the product of where we came from. At some point, we have an opportunity to say, you know what, that happened, but now I want to do things differently. And that's the work. That's the work. I think sometimes people don't want to do the work. They're
Yeah.
not willing to sit down and say, okay, what am I going to do different that's going to change and alter? Because you're going to coming up against stuff that you don't even know.
I'm
You're not
telling
even
you.
seeing that stuff. You're going to come up against. And I had to go through therapy. I had to do a lot of counseling. And then when I met my wife to be, we had to do pre-marriage counseling, a lot of things. And it's funny, one of the biggest things I had to deal with was finances, because that was the thing where my dad did not do well, was finances. And I'm not talking about spending, about in terms of his behavior with it. Yeah, it was okay. Finances is an opportunity for me to dominate, and I didn't want that behavior. I didn't want a situation where, okay, you're making money, but then it's an incentive to now misbehave. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. And there were things I had to do. There were things I had to go through, including counseling, to address those things. That it would not be my story. So, having a good marriage is also going to work. It's actually doing a lot of work, and we still do it. We're still doing it, not as much as we used to, but the foundations of how we got into our marriage, I believe, have held us well, because we will still we have met challenges. As I shared earlier, our first child was a big transition for us, but I'm really grateful that that process helped us to become the parents we are today. So I would say that whether you're ready for marriage or not, even the people who think they are ready for marriage, if they don't do the work, it's still gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you get into it, whether you're ready or not. The work has to still be done, because you could be ready. You could be ready on every level and still not do well in marriage. And that happens all the time. So I think the real thing is that, what am I willing to do? What am I really? Am I ready to go to school about this thing? Am I really ready to pick up stuff and learn this stuff and do what I need to do and and change my thinking as well? We're human beings. We're not. We can unlearn things. We can learn things. That's why we go to school. We can learn to do things differently. So I'll leave it with that. Thank you very much.
Most problems I found about human is that we want to live our life the same way. That's why we say transitioning into marriage, you have to change certain things whether you like it or not. Otherwise, you will not enjoy peace in that home. Everybody have to learn to be tolerant, to be compromising. You might say you're one, not you don't compromise. No, your way or the highway. We've treated that here too before. But you just find out that, hey, this thing is not how I thought it would be. My parents didn't tell me this, but you're now in it, you're finding out. How are you going to handle it? Are you going to fight your spouse? Are you going to sit down? I surrender. Oh, yeah, how best are we going to do this so that we're still sane and we're still loving one another and all of that? So, a word is enough for the wise. Say life is about learning, adapting, and growing. Yes, for some people, we know. And sometimes I'm not making excuses, but I want us to understand that, especially when it's something that's gone on for so long, just know that your spouse doesn't have what it takes. The more reason you might be the one to help them understand that transition or how to handle it. Because somebody who grew up not being hugged, loved, being told you're good, I'm proud of you, I love you, and things like that, they just grew up with life. They don't know those things. It's not in their vocabulary. It's not in their lifestyle. And they meet you, of course, when they're wooing a girl. Say, for example, it's a guy, he's wooing a girl. Of course, he's read novels or he's seen his friends, they toast, but he goes beyond just buying her a nice meal, opening the door for her, and all of those things. When it comes to the proper life in marriage, I bet you, even if you're, even we that we've gone for counseling, read books and all, are we still not facing transitions that are beyond us sometimes? Of course, so be careful, be intentional. You want to understand, you need, not want, you need to understand what's happening with your spouse. Even if you're going through the same transition, your reactions will be different. And it's on you to understand how they're reacting. And it's on you to verbalize how you are reacting. Because you can't keep shying away thinking, oh, all is good. It's just like when you see someone, hi, Fumi, how are you? You're expecting to say, fine, good. What if I just say, I'm not fine? And you're smiling, you just smile past, thinking I was going to say, oh, fine. And then you have to come back because I'm not smiling. I just said it's not fine. But you are not ready to hear it's not fine. I'm telling you. As simple as that. So you that you're asking me, how am I? Are you ready for the right answer? I'm going to give you my own answer, not what you think I'm going to say. Because sometimes we find ourselves, as simple as that analogy is, deeper in marriage. And you find out that your spouse needs you way more than ever because they cannot handle that transition. Don't say, but you're a strong woman, you're a strong man, you da da da. No, that particular transition seems little to you, but it's so big to them. You don't know what's happening in their mind, you don't know what's happening for them at that time. So do not shun their reaction, even though it's not what you don't want to see that, you don't want to hear it. But this is what they're going through, and it's not going to go anytime soon unless it's being talked through and processed and supported. That's why hard work, marriage is hard work. You people planning to get married, tell yourself the truth. Begin to talk about things. Marriage is not for lily-livered people. It is hard work.
It's hard work.
It's not for boys and girls. It's for men, mature man, mature woman. Hey, we're telling you now. You're laughing. Okay. That's what it is. You find out some people, they cut for 6 months and they're still 18 years together. Some people cut for 7 years and 10 years they've scattered it. So these things, there is no cut and paste anywhere. Everybody's just trying to do the best. Well, as much as it lies on us, we're meant to anyways. I'm gonna leave it there. I don't know if there's any other. Oh, we have Augusta actually before I round up.
Yeah,
Augusta,
evening
how are you?
everyone. May God bless you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Is this your first time in here?
Yeah, first time, yeah.
Hey.
God bless you.
We've said a lot.
You say marriage is hard. You say the truth, but endure. We can endure. We mature woman, as you say, mature man, mature woman. We can be endure, understanding. You understand? We can be endure, understand, respectful. Humble. You understand? And then the man is the head of the house, and the God is the head of the world. That is it. If we can respect in the marriage, respectful, and God give us Adam. He said we will be the support of the Eve. You understand? We can be supporting. The one we can do, we can help them. Be their supporting. That's it. And wisdom. He said wisdom is the principle of life. The book of Proverbs 18, Who that have wisdom, that have knowledge. When you have wisdom in marriage, we can succeed. Our father, our mother succeed, we will succeed. Because
Marriage is a thing. If you don't have wisdom, it will come to boza, boza, boza.
I know.
Yeah, it's
Tell them,
wisdom.
Augusta. Tell them.
Yeah, it's wisdom in the marriage. It's patient. It's endure. It's endure for the night. And later, there's the big joy is coming. I've
Amen.
been married over 25 years. I know what it is.
Wow, wow,
I
wow.
know. Yeah. That is why I know what it is. We need to be endured. There's no marriage. There is no tolerance. Yes, marry up and down, up and down, up and down. But we say with God, all things are possible. Yeah,
Indeed.
we know we can succeed. We are going somewhere. Yes.
Thank you, Alexa.
God bless you.
Thank you so much. I think those are just words of encouragement to
Yeah.
people who are married out there, who are aspiring to get married. In marriage, you have to learn to compromise. You need humility, integrity, intentionality, love, patience, kindness, grace, forgiveness.
Yes.
All of those things, man, it's not easy, but it can be easy by the grace of God.
By the grace of God.
Wisdom,
Amen.
wisdom is profitable to direct. It's not everything we will fight over. It's not everything we'll nag. Some things you might just have to look away, and that's where the compromise comes in for peace to reign. But I always say here, now I'm gonna say it. I'm not talking about domestic violence. I'm not talking about domestic abuse. We're just talking about certain unhealthy relationship we find ourselves in. And you find out that if both parties are willing to do the work, they will also enjoy the fruit of their labor. But
Yeah.
sometimes some are so adamant, they just don't want to compromise, they don't want to understand, and yet you want to be in a marriage relationship. I don't know how that marriage will survive, to be honest with you. So God will continue to help us all. I can see all the chats going on there. It's quite fast, but it's all good. Money is not solution. Love alone cannot do it. It takes all of those things and much more that we've mentioned. But just know that whatever transition you're going through with your husband, with your wife, and talk about it. If you're people of faith, if it's too much, pray about it. Ask God to intervene. Ask God to help your mind transition well. Ask God to help you see the reason for that transition. And please, I know sometimes, even as husband and wife, transitions come that may seem to pull you apart, but that is the time you really need to sit and talk more. Sometimes you might be away from each other for a period of time, but when it's getting too long, too long, too long, be careful. Be careful and don't be afraid to chastise one another. This thing I find as a big challenge. Husband cannot chastise the wife, wife cannot chastise the husband. You're fooling each other. Nobody's perfect. Husbands do wrong, wives do wrong, and it's on us to bring our attention to it. But let's be mindful of the words we use as well. Let's be kind in our words. Let's use the sandwich approach. How you table matter really matters a lot. Otherwise, it will seem as if you're attacking your spouse. There's so many things we could, carry on talking about. But I think a word is enough for the wise. Let's go back and reflect on all that we've heard today, especially those in marriage going through one transition or another. Honestly, reflect on it and determine in your mind that you want to do better by your spouse, by yourself, by your spouse, and by your family in general. And I pray that the Lord will equip every one of us, whatever transitioning phase we're in, by His grace, so that we keep enjoying our marriage relationship.
Amen.
All right. Thank you all so much for your contribution. Admissions, Kenneth P. Leslie, Woman of Purpose, Susan, Debbie, Gazim, Gaga. Augusta, thank you for joining us. I hope we'll see you on Monday, 8 p.m. UK time as well. On Monday, we talk about individual issues,
Yeah.
issues individuals deal with they need strategies to cope so that they can enjoy their individual lives. And IJ, thank you so much for at least coming into the box today and discussing with us. And thank you so much for that which you have shared. Every one of you as well. Thank you so much. A13. Thank you, gracias.
Thank you very
Everyone
much.
that from Mila for Christ, I cite you. I don't know if it's still there, but thank you all so much. I really appreciate every single one. Baby Gold, I see you. The Mayor Girl, I see you. Jane, how are you? I see you. And all three, I see you as well. Just a reminder, I know we're coming on Monday, but Thursday next week, we're not going to be here. Like I said, I have family thing to attend to. Well, I covered your prayers very much so. Please remember us in your prayers. And the Lord will continue to keep us all. The Lord will continue to keep our marriage. Above all, the Lord will keep us sound mind in all that we go through. Whatever that transition, we will transition with grace, with understanding, and with love by the grace of God. Thank you all so much, so much. Do have yourself a wonderful, wonderful night rest. You can say, help me with my goal.
Okay.
Please, thank you. Help me with my goal. If you have not given me a heart to me today, please don't forget to give me a heart to me, please. Let's do this community because I get all sort of message from TikTok. If you do this, if you do that, say, I don't know. I don't want to be saying that, but maybe I should start saying it or once in a while if I remember to do that. Yeah, so drop your offering. There's roses there. If you can add one or two to the roses, I really, really appreciate that. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much. Elder Debbie, offering time, blessing.
Yeah, me, I've done my offering already.
Oh, thank you. We always on top of our likes this season, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. Have yourself a wonderful night rest. Enjoy the weekend, and please self care. Look after yourself. Eh? When you're in right spirit, right mind, you'll be able to look after everyone around you. But prioritize yourself as well. Because like I said, you cannot give what you don't have. So look after yourself, treat yourself well, and treat the people around you well. But be intentional. This weekend, be intentional about the things you do. And God will take care of the rest. Just 5K to go. Oh,
Just
okay.
5K. Let's tap then. Let's tap and
Okay,
get to
okay.
the.
Let's tap, tap, tap,
Let's
tap.
tap. That's the offering. The offering is to tap into the 5K.
Oh, yay. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. Admissions, once again, thank you. Thank you. Augusta, I hope we'll see more of you.
Yeah,
IJ, thank you. I know the time difference. What time is it, IJ? What time is it where you are at?
It's 6:19
In the evening.
in the evening. Yes.
Okay.
So that's,
It's late
So
for us.
I finish work at 5. So that's
oh, okay.
I'm assuming, is it 11 p.m.? What time is it where you are?
it's
11:19.
So that's
Mm.
5 hour
11:19 now.
difference.
Yeah, 5 hours.
Oh, wow, we can imagine. Yeah, I think it favors you more because you're in the evening. We now pass our bedtime
We're
for
in the
some
night
of
now.
us.
Yeah,
Night for
but
us.
I catch the end. I always catch the end, but I appreciate it. I'm even thinking I didn't even know you do individual, but I'm like, why do I always catch you on this Thursday marriage
Maybe God
one?
has a purpose
Why
for
is the
you.
universe doing this?
We can reach out, we can talk some more. Who
Me,
knows?
I don't like to talk about marriage. Marriage is wonderful. Me, I don't want to
Yes, you
talk
don't like
about it.
talking about it. It's amazing. We by ourselves, we just complicate life. As if life is not complicated enough by itself. Some things, all it takes is yes, no, but we will go. Therefore, maybe, somehow, before, thereafter. Why?
Answer the question.
No. Oh, some things are needless. But because of where we're coming from, the mind, our mind has to be reset, so to say, for that marriage we are putting ourselves into. God will help us because some people they don't even see it at all. That is, they feel they're okay. Oh, I'm loving enough. I'm caring enough. You will meet that wife or that husband that will make your care look like nothing.
Hey, we're there. We did it. We did
I'm
it. Well done.
oh,
Woo!
something will test all the packaging you have
No,
you
no,
have with
no.
yourself.
We've
It's
done
amazing.
100K now. Well done, everybody.
Yay!
Funny how I remember when we couldn't even get to 30K. Look at that now. God
My
is good though.
goodness, it's
You people
getting
are
good,
doing
and
well.
I'm so happy. I know, yay. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much.
What
I
better
love it.
family do I want in this community other than you all? Thank you so much. Honestly, you make this assignment easy for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's what I'll say. And God bless every one of you. Have a lovely, lovely night rest. Be good and make the world a better place, regardless, make the world a better place. Thank
Yes.
you all. Good night,
Good
everybody.
night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Oh, thank you. God is good all the time. I am a witness.
Good night, good night.
Yeah, Leslie, thank you. I know. Good panel tonight. Let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you, Susan. See you on Monday, 8 p.m. All around me, yeah. Good night, everyone. We love